like it matters. Not like any of this matters.
None of this matters.
None of this matters. Welcome
I wasn't expecting that.
No.
to the Three Dudes
Off
podcast.
to a great start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are back.
It is Tuesday, October 22nd.
That's it. That's what day it is.
And
What you do the limit? Sorry. I'm gonna stop.
and we are in some kind of mood.
We are in some kind of mood. This is our 16th
It's a miracle.
episode.
We're all of us at once are actually in a good mood.
That doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, despite ourselves, despite
Yeah.
the fact that they are obviously
Obviously grilled. Oh, man.
never letting that meat die.
Yeah.
Never gonna let the steamed hams.
I feel I need to discuss on this podcast that Dave Dragowski's bathroom nightmare is finally happening.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I mentioned it on the podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, let's just open up with this here. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're taking up game design. And you're creating.
I'm a game developer now,
yeah,
guys.
your dad works at Nintendo.
Now you can suck China's dick and
That's right.
Yeah.
make racist comments towards your fans on
Right.
Discord.
Of course.
Take it easy, LeBron. Had you back off a little bit.
So Game Maker Studio 2 is a thing you can get a 30-day trial of.
Funny
for
thing
free.
about Game Maker Studio,
Two of them.
Two of them.
Two of them.
Two of them.
You can get the free trial for 30 days, and then a Windows Publish only license is $30 for the year.
oh shit!
So if you're okay with publishing whatever you make just to Windows, that's a $30 a year commitment. That's nothing.
Yeah.
And
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay. So Dave Dragowski's bathroom nightmare is starting to happen. It's becoming a reality.
Please put it on Steam for 50 cents.
What? The thing is, if it happens, it's going on Steam for free.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to make any money off of this. I want people to live my bathroom shame around the world.
So what, we've only seen little screenshots so far. So why don't you tell the people what?
So Dave Dragowski's Bathroom Nightmare is a video game in which you play as me, who really has to poop and can't do it because there's 1,000 different things in between you and getting to poop in peace. So
in peace, that's the key word.
I've discussed this before, but to rediscuss this, I guess. So if you walk into the bathroom and anyone's in there, you got to walk right back out. If they're at the urinal, if they're washing their hands, they can't know you're there. This is like a stealth operation.
So this is kind of like this is gonna be a bit like a roguelike. Like you're not gonna know what's in the bathroom when you go in.
it's a roguelike with one room. There's one whole room.
But I'm assuming there's some RNG involved in what permutation of
I don't-
events and obstacles.
I think it's going to go progressively throughout a series of planned missions.
Oh, okay.
Where you
Okay.
get increasingly farther but never succeed.
Yeah.
So I
In
don't.
which Dave eats foods that are progressively worse and worse for him for his digestive
well,
health.
that's an interesting thing. You
Yeah.
can just include you eating lunch first.
Oh yeah, right. So you get to pick the lunch.
Yeah.
and then you have a different level of urgency.
Yes,
That makes sense.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
do
difficulty
that.
selection screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Where like a light lunch, like a ham sandwich, you're fine. But eat the entire 5 enchilada meal.
Yeah, right. With fugu sauce.
What?
Yeah, fugu sauce.
What is fugu?
Jalapenos and meatloaf.
Fugu like the fish?
Yeah. You just spray some of that poison all over it. Yummy.
Poison sauce.
Well, you were showing us that video of the fugu getting
It's so
carved up, and
so funny.
That's the first we have to stun the fish. Whap. Yeah.
This guy who's been slaughtering the fugu fish for 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's the most dangerous thing to possibly
Yeah,
prepare.
right. Every part of this fish is poisonous,
Yeah.
and if it touches you, you're basically dead.
Simpsons taught me that.
Yeah.
That is the best part of the video.
I was thinking about. It's funny you brought that up because that's part of our jazz punk playthrough on YouTube. Is you have to You have to give fugu to the cowboy.
Right. Yeah.
which immediately makes him sick.
Yeah, he
immediately
throws
frees.
up his kidney, his artificial kidney.
That's right. You repo his kidney. That game is so funny.
Yeah, it is really funny. I was watching that playthrough and I just forgot how terrible I was at Frogger.
That's right.
I kept failing at Frogger.
So what is it you have to get on the other side of the road there?
He needs the Wi-Fi password.
That's right. So stupid.
That's so much fun.
No, I'm severely. I'm looking forward to Dave Dragowski. I am severely looking forward to this.
I'm all boned up about it.
I'm awaiting this with bated breath.
So far, what I have is a sprite of me that I can walk around the map. I have the blockers on the map so you can't go through the walls and stuff. It's like a 2D top-down thing. I have like handlers for like interactive objects, like the urinals and the stalls and stuff. And I have light fixtures that blink at random times. And I have theme music, which I'm really excited about. Because it does, I think, very well encapsulate the terror I feel when I have to poop at work. So, really doing good.
RPG Maker is still a thing. I'm sure you can get like the downloads for 95 or 98 or 2000 somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I have RPG Maker, actually.
Yeah.
With most of the stuff that goes with it.
Wouldn't it be great to make an RPG style game where like the end result is getting to the bathroom and just call it Dave Dragowski's Bathroom Nightmare Gaiden?
It's like a ninja themed bathroom game. Did you get it?
Yeah, I did.
No,
Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
Gaiden is just means like side story.
Oh, okay. I was associated with ninjas for obvious
Ninja
reasons.
Gaiden.
Yeah, because of Prince of Persia.
Well, Ninja Gaiden is a side story to the Dead or Alive universe.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Which is why it's called that. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a Game Boy Color.
Wow.
For Game Boy Color, there was Resident Evil Gaiden. There is, of course, the Something Awful community project, Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
Okay, that was awesome.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, you're supposed to chaos dunk,
The Chaos,
but you haven't chaos dunked in like 30 years.
Yeah.
And like you have to chaos
forbidden
dunk.
technique.
Such a weird idea.
Yeah, it's like it's set in a future where basketball is outlawed or something like that.
Basketball is against the law.
That's funny. I love shit like that. That's like, oh, you're not. It's banned, but it's something so stupid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
South Park did that. The South Park game.
What did they make illegal? I can't remember.
Farting on another man's balls.
Oh, yes, right.
You can't fart. Never.
The gentleman's oath.
The gentleman. Never, ever fart on another man's balls. Seriously, dude, don't do it. And then, like, that comes up several times throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, or
and then,
someone will just be like, the gentleman's oath.
no, you can't break the gentleman's oath. And then at the end of the game, like, spoiler alert, you have to fart on somebody's balls.
Is it
and
Kenny's balls?
It's Kenny's balls. And somebody goes, but the gentleman's oath.
Yes. Is it Randy?
It's not Randy. It's
Okay.
like an FBI agent. It's like everybody's aware of this. Like,
The whole world knows about the gentleman's oath.
you can't fart on another.
You could
man's
never
balls.
fart on another man's balls.
Seriously, dude, don't do it.
Don't do it.
So stupid.
That's really silly.
Anybody feeling fucked this week?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fucked.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I'm feeling fucked for maybe a stupid. Well, maybe it's not so inconsequential, but the fact that this whole thing with Blizzard in China.
It's kind of a big deal.
China.
China. So if you haven't heard of it, an Overwatch tournament recently saw its champion take the stage and accept his prize money and what have you, and voice public support for the Hong Kong protesters.
Right.
After which point Blizzard revoked his title and his prize money.
That's so fucked to me.
They only gave his prize money back after massive public outcry and backlash.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese company called Tencent that I think owns like a significant portion of Blizzard now.
Yes.
It's suspected to be the main reason why they pushed so hard for this Diablo mobile game.
Yep.
And had it
Yeah, right.
front and center as the headline of their event last year.
I can't remember if Tencent is a manufacturer of mobile phones or if they run a mobile network.
I think it's a network.
I think it's a network because Tencent made the Call of Duty mobile game that I can't stop fucking playing.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I saw Alec play that, I think.
Yeah.
I was blown away at how good that
It looks really fucking good. Yeah. As good as the Xbox 360 Call of Duties looks.
weirdly exactly as good.
Yeah. Very, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
And now more recently, EA has also come into the spotlight because in text chat in their games now, the word Tiananmen is censored.
Oh, right.
All kinds of crazy shit like this.
The censorship thing is really upsetting.
Yeah.
Quite obviously, these companies are being turned into stoolies for the Chinese government, and it's disturbing.
It's wrong.
Well, and let's be real here. Like, this is the one thing that I've noticed in the past several years, where like everybody in this country is in agreement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like I've liberal friends of mine and conservative friends of mine. Everybody's like, no, they should definitely be protesting in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Everybody's in agreement on this.
Well, the thing
except the companies that are making money from China.
We may have talked about this on this podcast. I can't remember. But, like, if we haven't, the flag they are carrying in Hong Kong as they protest a tyrannical government is the United States flag.
Right.
That means something.
That is pretty badass.
And it's actually really embarrassing that we have, like, whole gigantic, like, American national corporations that are afraid to share in the support of people who are freedom fighters.
Now, on the flip side of this, Nintendo last week recently canceled the launch event for Overwatch on Switch.
Yes.
Threw Blizzard under the bus in the tweet they made about it.
Ooh.
They said the launch event has been canceled by Blizzard, and we apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They completely threw Blizzard on the bus. They were not happy. Big surprise. A Japanese company doesn't like a company with a major Chinese interest.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Like, why did Blizzard want to slow down or stop the launch of Overwatch on the Switch?
Not sure.
Okay.
They just canceled the launch event probably because of, their PR is terrible right now.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Blizzard is looking fucking garbage right now.
But then also at a recent Magic the Gathering tournament, the winning player also spoke up in support of the Hong Kong protests.
Yeah.
You know what happened to him? Jack shit.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
happened.
So the tide is kind of moving where they're not willing to.
Well,
Because they're going to face huge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Magic the Gathering is, that's Wizards of the Coast. And as far as I know,
Oh, okay.
or Wizards of the Coast, it's not Wizards, is it?
Magic
Yeah,
is definitely Wizards.
Is
of
it?
the Coast,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and as far as I know, they don't have any Chinese interests.
Gotcha. Well, the thing is, like, everybody does. That's the real crazy thing about this China shit is, like, everybody has an interest in China. South Park's episode about this was really good because they show.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
The concept is Randy, who has been running a weed farm for like the last season, wants to take his business to China.
Yeah.
So he boards a plane with like things like a bunch of Disney properties, like stormtroopers and shit, to go to China to look for business. And of course, his weed farm is named Integrity Farms, and it's all about his integrity. And the thing is, he doesn't realize he has none when he goes to bat for the Chinese.
Yeah.
Which is the sort of like central joke of the episode, I think.
I did see Matt and Trey's sarcastic and disingenuous apology
Yeah.
to the Chinese.
Literally, the next episode.
Well, to the Chinese government.
Yeah, right.
The next episode had like him reconciling with Towelie and Towelie being like, "All right, fine, say fuck the Chinese government," and he goes, "Fuck the Chinese government." He said, "No, say fuck the Chinese government." Yeah, fuck the Chinese government. It's so silly to me. South Park always gets this stuff.
Yeah,
right.
they are like notoriously unapologetic to anybody.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, all the people that I thought would be notoriously unapologetic for things have ended up apologizing.
Yeah.
For shit.
Like fucking groveling.
Yeah, right.
The NBA thing is really upsetting to me.
Yeah, especially LeBron. Like,
What LeBron say?
LeBron basically threw his other fellow players who came out in support of the Hong Kong protests under the bus, being like, "It's a political issue. It's none of our business."
No shit.
Yeah, if I understand it correctly. And I hate to bring this back up, but dude, shut up and dribble. Like fucking Like this is the one scenario where like you need to you're in the wrong here, bud.
God, that drives me insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing that is the most upsetting about all of that in the NBA is that the NBA is the political league in the United States where like all of its players get to say a bunch of controversial shit all the time.
Right.
Like the NFL will, you know, like punish people for taking a knee and shit like that, but the NBA is where you get to say your fucking piece.
Right.
Yeah.
And still, because they're so dependent on that fucking sweet Chinese teat,
Yeah.
they come around and be like, "No, that's not what we really meant. You know, we don't really stand for this. You know, that's just his, opinion. We don't. That's not what the NBA stands for." And
Interestingly enough,
so
on Meet the Press the other day, they were talking about companies with corporate interests in China, and there are so many companies that are American, like that you would recognize as wholly American companies. Who have more locations in China, and are performing better in China. KFC being one of them. There's almost 40% more KFC locations in China, and they're outselling the U.S. locations. But it's just like they were just going down the list of like all these places that are like split, and there's more of them in China. That,
God, at some point, like we ought to just kick these fucking companies out.
Yeah, at some point we ought to just fucking kick the Chinese people out of this. No,
All of the Chinese people.
all of them, or just like put them in like a camp or something. No, of course not. Of course not.
Of course not.
No, we wouldn't want to do that. They're not Japs.
That costs too much money.
No.
No.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not. I'm obviously joking.
That's horrible.
So
Obviously.
So Chris, why are we fucked?
We were talking about it a little bit earlier. I've been going back through and cataloging in preparation for the best of season 3 Dudecast, which is consistently my favorite time of year. It's the sessions that we've had. I think like the three of us together have had the most fun at have been the best of sessions going through and like
we look back on some of our favorite moments,
some of the funny stuff that we said on the show.
It's
and
the
like,
holiday season, so everyone's cheery.
And where it's always like right after we get through Christmas and the New Year's party,
New Year's,
and so we're all like super relaxed and like in a good mood, and hungover, right? And like I just listened to the last best of, which is still really funny, and there's really funny moments in the last best of episode.
I mean, like outside of the clips?
Of the clips, that are like there's that are really really funny.
It's always fun.
Like at one point we were talking about like we brought up the Schindler's List thing, like how I recommended Schindler's List in season 2,
and no one can keep it together,
right? Yeah, and we were talking about like how you could if Oscar Schindler could one-click order Jews on Amazon. I just listened to that in the car cackling like a moron because it was so funny.
Just like one-click order hundreds of Jews.
He's got it. You said something like he's got it in his favorites, and there's just a large picture of Ben Kingsley's face.
It's just a dash button with
he's got the Amazon dash button. Yeah, just like one press reorder.
You gotta make sure you one-touch order one of those Ring doorbells so that no one steals your Jew off the front porch. When it gets delivered.
No.
There's that rascal who's been stealing my Jews.
Sorry, when he or she gets delivered. Said it.
Yeah, he or she is much better.
When it gets delivered. No, but like all this to say that
I mean, obviously the box with air holes containing the Jew.
Air holes?
Well, it's an option.
Yeah.
You can toggle that on for next
too much money.
Yeah, okay.
No, but all this to say, like I've been going back through and re-listening to.
Are you sure you mean Jew SBS?
The Jew SBS. God.
Fed
No, all this to say that I've been going back through from our episodes from this season and trying to find the best of moments, and I have of which I have a bunch, but like I realized that we're like most of the way through the year. We have 16 episodes.
It's sad.
And that is not cutting it. That is just not cutting it.
This is probably a good time to issue a somber apology.
Yeah, the goal I think should be to have at least.
I'm sorry that you're upset.
Yeah, the goal should be to at least have like 26, like half of the year,
like almost 30.
Yeah. That's what we had historically done, and it's just been like it's been such a hectic year with me getting married and you having to leave town, and then you having to leave town. Dave, and then like D&D for all of us on Tuesdays. Ben has been the only one who's been consistently available.
Yeah,
through all
the
of
only
this.
dude that hasn't constantly been bailing for one reason.
Right, exactly.
I don't have a life.
Yep.
Well, congrats.
Yeah. But all this to say that like I feel bad for myself that I like we haven't gotten to do this, because we even said on the last best of episode how much fun this is every time we sit down.
Yes.
If we're having a bad day, this usually makes it better.
Yeah.
If
It
we're having a
almost
good
always
day,
does.
it makes that day better.
Right.
It's a fun thing to do. So I've kind of sad that like
We're on track to hit about 20 episodes.
that's
for the
okay.
year.
I think if we can get to 20, I'd be okay.
And if you think about it, 52 weeks out of the year, we do D&D every other one. That's 26. People are here or there for different reasons. If 20 is not that bad.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm sad that we didn't get to do D&D this week, but I am also excited that we get to do the Dude Cast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do miss it when we don't do it.
it's like a half fucked, because I'm sad that we don't get to do it as much as we did before.
Yeah.
But I am happy that we're doing it now.
Right.
And it's gonna be fun. We're all in a
Yeah.
good mood today.
You're,
so
you're gonna like my topic too.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee.
Do I guarantee it? I guarantee
I was
it.
thinking about that fucking guy. I can't remember his name. The Men's Warehouse
George
guy.
Zimmer.
George Zimmer, yeah. That dude that got-
Combo Dad.
that dude that got fired from his own company.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he do?
I think he was just like smoking weed all the time and freaking everyone out. It was just being weird. Yeah. I think that was it.
What? Really?
Yeah, that was it. He was just like really high all the time and like was pursuing like strategies people didn't agree with, and they were like, well, he's high all the time. And yeah. They eventually booted him, and
You remember those all caps posts on 4chan where people would just post his picture and then like write their own
Yes.
file, like you're gonna love my massive man hammer, I guarantee it.
Oh man, that's a deep
yes. The shitter of the internet, 4chan.
Fortune
Fortune.
500.
cut. 4chan 500. Dave, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit fucked.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. A little bit fucked. Yep. Wow, that's hard to do. Yeah. So I already told you guys this, but I'm just going to talk about it again because I can't get over it.
Mick Double Watch.
Hey, owning a house is a huge fucking pain in the dick.
Yeah. Oh, you want to tell the story?
Yeah. Consider not. If you're thinking about getting a house, consider maybe don't do that. Because honestly, I'm not sure it's a good idea anymore. In some ways, it's good. It's good to like. In some ways, it's good that like someone in the group of people you hang out with has a house.
You don't have anyone above you like stomping their feet on the ground for no good reason.
That's a really good thing. You don't have that.
Your house doesn't smell like weed unless you really want it to.
Right, unless you make it smell like weed.
Right.
I don't.
Yes, you guys don't, but someone does, right?
Someone does.
Someone makes that place
Someone
smell like
sitting
weed.
at this table. What? What? No.
What?
What? No, of course not.
But maybe.
Maybe. No.
No, of course not.
I mean, if you're offering it,
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say.
I don't go out my way to buy it, but if I offer it at a party or something,
But yeah, so I will tell this story real briefly because it drove me fucking insane this weekend.
Would you say that you're gonna touch your briefs on this?
I'm gonna touch my briefs on this. Thanks, bud.
No problem.
I appreciate
Bringing
it.
it back.
You got my back.
I'm bringing it back. I'm
right.
bringing back the.
Let me touch my briefs
Yeah.
in front of you.
Go ahead.
So this weekend, so I got back from a trip. I went to Wisconsin for a couple of days for work, and I come back, and the plan was for Christy and I to do the the bathroom. We were going to paint the tile with this cool tile paint, which we did, and it looks fucking awesome.
It does.
I really like it.
It does look
we had this horrible, ugly pink tile and this like rose wallpaper, and we ripped both of those. Well, we ripped the wallpaper down and we painted it.
You had an aggressively elderly bathroom.
Such an old lady bathroom.
All it was missing was a bowl of seashells on the toilet tank.
It was exactly like one of those boxes covered in seashells, and when you open it, there's seashells inside.
Yeah, right.
Just like so much seashell.
Yeah.
But the thing is, on the day that we meant to paint the walls, we were talking about the toilet, and the toilet had a little wobble to it. And I'm like, oh, let's look at this while we're taking the tank off to get to the tile. Let's take the tank off and then check out the toilet. And the more we dug into it, the worse a project it became. It was crazy making. It was the kind of thing where, like, I'm not kidding you. At one point, I was just crying in my bathroom, going, "I don't know what to do. What am I gonna do? I don't know what to do." It drove me fucking insane. So, like, the thing is, the toilet was wobbling because it wasn't anchored to the floor. Like, it wasn't. There were just bolts sticking up through the sides where, like, it should be anchored, but it wasn't anchored to anything. They were just there.
So the only thing connecting it to anything was the pipe going out of it.
And it wasn't even connected to that. It just sits on top of it.
Oh my god.
It just kind of sits there. So, like, if somehow you lifted the toilet a bit and, like, angled it to the side, it could just go everywhere. It wasn't screwed into anything.
Oh, heavens.
So we go, all right, great. We gotta find a flange ring or something to, like, where you put the screws through that and you
Right,
secure it
lock
to
it
the
in
floor.
place, right.
But then we had to, like, I'll spare all the details, but it was like, I gotta buy all these tools to do this. Like, I gotta get masonry bits to drill through the tile. I gotta get then later I realized I had to take out the tile, so I had to get a chisel and, like, destroy the floor. And then in doing so, I found that the floor was completely destroyed underneath because they did such a shitty job in the
It's
past.
probably rotted.
Yeah, so water had destroyed the floor around the toilet drain. So it's like I'm like chiseling and I'm just seeing the basement from the upstairs. I'm like I poke my finger in and a huge chunk of tile just falls down, and I'm just looking at the basement going, what the fuck do I do with this? And it's at this point that I'm like just like quietly sobbing to myself, like, what am I
Well, the thing
gonna
is,
do?
like, if that got bad enough, there's a really good chance that the toilet could have just one day yeeted through your floor.
Yes, it could straight up yeet into the basement.
Yeah, right.
With me on it.
Right, and that toilet is like right there.
Yeah, well, it's okay. So that is the sink drain.
Okay.
So you know how far the toilet is from the sink. You can imagine it's right there.
Yeah, right.
It's right up there.
It would just come toppling through the opposite side of this wall that
Exactly.
I'm looking at
Right. You would
into
just
your laundry.
Right next to the other toilet.
Yes.
right.
Which could have been even worse because then you'd have no toilets.
Two toilets destroyed. Not a toilet.
Nary a toilet.
Nigh on a toilet. No toilet. Anyway, so I had to do a lot of different things to make this work. I took 3 trips to Home Depot. By the third one, Christy had to. I can't remember if she came with me on the third trip. No, she didn't. So we did 2 trips to Home Depot together, and I was just like burned out and had to go to like the handyman to get the last few parts, and then come back and cut a board to cover the area that was like falling into the basement, and like secure the ring to that, and secure the toilet to the ring and all that. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't get a house. Don't get a house. Don't do it unless you absolutely have a great reason to get a house, like a need for a house.
Or fuck the toilet, dig a hole in the backyard, like our forefathers.
Right. Yeah, have a good
Just shit in
old
that.
outdoor latrine. You know,
Yeah.
like one of those things with a crescent moon on it, like
Right.
a little outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even that, just out in nature, like John Quincy Adams would have wanted.
So,
You can get your taint bit by a snake?
yeah, do you want to get your taint bit by a snake?
Maybe don't kink shame me.
So anyway, the point is, don't get a house unless you absolutely have to, because it is a fucking pain. And I told you guys this, like, it's great in for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But like, twice a year, you will have a weird, like, freak out sobbing over something you can't figure out trying to get your house together. Or you're going to call someone and have them fix it, and it's going to
For
cost
several $1,000s.
It's going to cost a fucking arm and a leg.
Yeah.
About the only thing I won't do is probably electrical.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, don't fuck around with
Too
that.
dangerous.
Yeah. It's not
Do
worth it
not.
if you don't
Yeah.
know what you're doing.
But anyway, I guess that does it. Just don't have a house. It's terrible.
Good for you. I'm poor. I can't afford one.
Do like Diogenes, live in a barrel and shit in the street.
Honestly, like I miss having a landlord to call and complain about this stuff and just like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it is very easy. They'll just send somebody to your place and they'll
Yeah.
do it for you.
Yeah.
And you get to watch them with like a beer in your hand, like,
Wow, that looks hard.
man, that's gotta suck, dude.
Wow.
Can see your ass crack.
Yeah.
You tired? Whew, I'm not.
You want a drink of water? Nah, I'm not giving you one. Dance monkey.
You got like a glass of water and you slowly hand it to him and then just turn it over.
Oh, sorry. This is my water. This is for people with working plumbing. Which you fixed.
Thanks. Anyway,
Well.
that's it. That's that.
All right. Well, this was informative and educational as always. And we are going
As
to
always.
As always.
take a quick break, and we'll be right back with
Queasy breezy?
a Halloween edition of Reality or Bullshit.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
really? You got a Halloween theme?
It's kind of Halloween.
spooky?
No, it's not spooky at all.
That's my fourth favorite holiday.
What makes it Halloweeny? We'll find
You'll
out,
see.
won't we?
You'll see.
Okay.
It's
Halloweeny.
it's stupid.
You're a Halloweeny.
You're Halloweeny.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Three Dude Podcast. Hey.
Woo!
Yeah.
You can find us at 3dudecast.com.
If you're wondering whether that's spelled with the numeral 3 or the word 3, the answer is yes.
We're so proud of ourselves.
We're so clever. We're such clever boys.
Wow. We've switched hosting to Podbean. You can still find us on iTunes and Google Play. So give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like, give us a listen, give us a review somewhere.
Give us a sandwich.
Give us a high five.
Give us sponsorships.
Please give us a hug.
Give us that money. Start the podcast.
recording
You do the
podcast with the things and the sounds
You press
and the music.
You press the record button on the
Hit the button
podcast.
and the people hear the things that are coming out of the mouth.
microphone.
Please stop recording this. I'm in the middle of something, Rudy.
Something unspeakable, Rudy.
Now, if you just lay right there on the couch.
Oh my God, no.
No. We're not going there. Come on.
We hit a new low.
To Bill Cosby's house? No.
No, we're definitely not. Well, no, because it's not his house anymore.
All right,
His
he's in-
house is jail.
Jail.
Bill
Bill
Cosby's
Cosby's-
house is his jail.
Cosby
jail.
is in jail.
Yeah. That's a sentence you never thought you'd say in your lifetime,
No,
is it?
America's dad shouldn't be in jail,
No,
but he is.
But he is.
And he deserves it.
He sure does.
You
You need to
Shut up, dog. Fuck off. Hey, dog.
So
Dog,
anyway.
shut up.
we are back here live, kind of live on the
live for us.
the
Right.
Three Dudes
Live-ish.
podcast. Forgot what we were called for a second, and
Yeah, that's it.
it's time now for a Halloween edition of Reality or Bullshit.
I'm excited.
So as you know, going shopping for costumes is a fucking ridiculous endeavor.
Yeah.
I seriously like saw like a pre-made toga costume.
Oh, really?
Just a toga.
Just like a sheet?
It's a white fucking sheet. Make
Yeah.
it yourself.
Do
Jesus.
it yourself. A bedsheet toga is the easiest and oldest costume.
It's ridiculous. Of course, it was like $20 or something.
course.
But yeah, so costumes are ridiculous, and of course, costumes for women are absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're all like ridiculous with like tits forward and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sexy everything.
Yeah.
Which is why today's reality.
I'm a sexy golem. Ooh, check it out. Oh my precious.
in searching for actual honest to god sexy costumes, I came across sexy Optimus Prime, sexy
Wow.
Donald Trump.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of them, but I picked out 3 of the weirdest ones I found.
Oh my
The
God.
weirdest and most uncomfortable sexy costumes I found, and then I made one up.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
So you gotta figure out which one mercifully does not exist.
This is a really good idea, Ben.
So, what you have first? Okay, so 4 sexy costumes. Your choices are sexy mustard, sexy wrench,
Mustard.
Sexy wrench?
Sexy wrench,
Wrench?
sexy big bird,
Okay.
or sexy corn cob. Which is the one I pulled out of my ass?
You have to be kidding.
3 of these are completely real.
Hold on.
God. Okay,
no,
hold on.
mustard. I gotta write this down. Mustard,
Sexy mustard,
wrench,
sexy wrench,
big bird.
sexy big bird. Who I feel the need to remind everyone that Big Bird in the Sesame Street universe is like 3.
Right, but,
Yeah,
but a
right.
girl, so.
No, Big Bird's a boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Big Bird's definitely a boy.
And a sexy corn cob.
Oh my god.
As much as I want sexy Big Bird to be fake. I don't think it is.
I think it's real. I think it's real.
I think it's real. I don't think it's called Sexy Big Bird. I think it's called Sexy something not affiliated with
Large avian.
this. Yeah, right. What was the last one again? Sexy
Corn cob.
Corn cob.
Corn cob.
Sexy Corn Cob is the one that I'm leaning towards, and I have no foundation for that because not 10 seconds ago I thought maybe it was Sexy Wrench.
I have a conviction. I have a conviction in my heart of what I think it is.
Yes.
My gut is moved on this one. I believe Sexy Wrench is the fake one. I will tell you
you?
why. I know there to be ketchup and mustard costumes.
Yeah, I believe ketchup and mustard are.
Big Bird.
That's
I
just stupid enough.
Exactly.
Is there a sexy mustard costume?
Well, the thing is, I can easily see it. I can see anything that exists already being
It's
a
just
sexy
a
version of it.
yellow bikini top with like the mustard squirting thing on the top.
Yeah, I somehow think that a wrench costume, either sexy or not sexy, does not exist. That's my guess.
Okay.
I could be wrong. That's my conviction. My conversion.
Okay.
I think Corn Cob is too. Wrench was my first inclination. I'm gonna go with Corn Cob though. I think it's Sexy
think
Corn
it's Corn
Cob
Cob?
is just silly enough.
All right.
But sexy corn cob.
I know it's Halloweeny, but I'm going with my gut on this one.
All right.
All
Ready?
right. Well, yeah, we've guessed wrench and corn cob, so let's hear it.
The one that does not exist, as far as I could tell from searching for it, is sexy wrench.
Oh, well done, sir.
Yes.
I could not find a sexy wrench costume.
That means that Sexy Big Bird exists.
Yes.
does exist.
Do you remember what it was called?
I don't. It was on like a ranker list, I think.
Right.
And they called it Sexy Big Bird, but I don't know what
Right.
it's being sold as.
Sure. Like obviously they can't
Oh,
call it
no.
sexy big bird, so they
Right.
called something else.
Oh no.
Wait, did you look it up? Can I see it? Oh. Oh
Yes.
man, so they got Big Bird's feet correct.
Oh, that wasn't the costume I saw, but
Was
that's
it
also
this?
It was that.
Okay.
Because that's worse.
So it's
That's
Big
worse
Bird's
somehow.
head on like a really short yellow skirt with like orange pinkish legs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no.
But it's like the full Big Bird mask. Like it looks exactly like Big Bird.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That's
Sunny day, days in the clouds. There's more of these. There's like Naughty Flapper Big Bird.
it's insane.
fuck?
It's insane. There's probably a sexy Oscar the Grouch out there too. Like you wear the trash can around your like your legs stick out.
Google
What the
it.
fuck is this?
Oh my god. Wait, so it's Big Bird, but she's holding an American flag?
And saluting.
Sexy patriot Big Bird.
Yeah.
It's not enough for it to be a sexy Big Bird costume. Does sexy Big Bird love America?
Wait, there's more. There's several sexy Big Bird costumes.
Oh yeah.
That is
There's
unfortunate.
like way too many.
It's unsettling.
Oh no, there's sexy Elmo.
Sexy, sexy bird and Ernie.
A sexy
Oh,
Bert and
no.
Ernie?
Oh,
They're
that's a
just
thing?
in leather gear.
It's just Bert and Ernie, but like strapped in
Yeah,
leather.
like ball gagged.
Yeah, like Bernie's gag. It's Ernie's gag.
Ernie's definitely gagged.
I just said Bernie's gag.
Yeah, Ernie is definitely the bottom in that relationship.
Bernie. But Bernie.
Sexy
being gagged.
Bernie Sanders with a ball gag.
No. You remember the safe word, Ernie. So anyway,
More millionaires and millionaires. By the way,
Right.
Oscar the Grouch is in the corner watching.
Oh god.
just in his slightly vibrating trash can.
Yep.
There's just like a ting,
Oh,
ting,
no.
ting, 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 ting noise.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
So,
how about that? There's no sexy wrench.
oh yeah, treat him like trash, Bert.
Oh no.
There isn't a sexy wrench yet.
Yeah, not yet. Now there will be.
Now there will be.
Yeah, just the idea has been put out into the world, so of course it will exist.
Right.
Rule 34.
Yep, that's what Aubrey said when I was looking these up earlier.
Right.
Rule 34.
Well, and then Rule 35 is if there isn't porn of it, you have to make it
that's
yourself.
34A.
Yeah.
If
right.
there is not porn of it, then porn of it must be created.
I remember my first Rule 34, and it was the ET thing.
Oh no.
Do you?
I don't remember.
You don't
this.
remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, so the first Rule 34, the reason I became aware of Rule 34 was in conjunction with this horrible, very disgusting ET pornography, which is like a woman in like an ET costume, like with the
Oh,
mask
no.
and everything, and then just I don't like
Someone's fucking ET.
yeah, just like randomly two guys,
Yeah.
two guys.
two random guys and ET.
Oh no, that's
It's
Jurassic Park. That's
What?
I was just singing the wrong music. I was trying to sing the ET music.
La 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 la.
ET's getting railed.
by two
By
guys.
two, it's getting
One of them
La,
is
la,
Steven
la.
Spielberg.
the other
Yeah,
one's
George Lucas. Why
George
not?
Lucas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just Eiffel Towering ET.
John Williams is in the corner watching.
He's in his vibrating trash can.
Right next to Oscar's vibrating trash can.
He's conducting it.
Oh, now this is Oscar worthy.
Oscar worth. Well, you have to ask Oscar.
Yeah.
ET getting the old wobbly H.
I don't know. Aliens don't do much for me. So
Fucking gross.
It got weird and gross so fast.
it did. So anyway, being that it's spooky time,
It is spooky time.
it is spooky time. I wanted to breach our knowledge of, because I think we're all atheists at this table, right?
I would think so.
I think so. Yeah.
So I want to.
I know I am.
I wanted to broach a topic that maybe there's some gray area in there. By which I mean the paranormal. Any that it can include any kinds of ghosts, werewolves, vampires, aliens. It can include
Okay.
any
I'm interested with this.
any sort of legit science that may lend credence to paranormal stuff. That could even be ESP, psychics.
Wow.
I just want to do an episode on the paranormal.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with it. Like God and what apparitions and like everything that like basically falls outside of like the traditionally observable stuff.
Right, and not even necessarily God. Obviously I want this to be more of a bent towards like spooky paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
One of the things I think I even brought it up one time when we were cooking here, was the fact that, you know, garlic is kind of a superfood. You know, it's a natural antibacterial, grows in the winter.
Yeah.
And that I had the theory, and I haven't bothered to look up and see if this is true or not, that's why garlic is supposed to repel werewolves, because it's
Right.
you know, obviously people would recognize it's a naturally healthy.
Is it werewolves? I thought it was vampires.
That's it.
Did I say werewolves? I meant vampires. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe also werewolves. The minute I see a werewolf, I'll try it out. How's
Yeah,
that?
cool. And then the silver also. Silver's a natural antibacterial.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
That's werewolves,
Yeah.
and I think according to some legends, also vampires.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It is interesting that like those two things, which are special, like undoubtedly special,
Yeah.
have their place in these like myths and legends.
Yeah.
Like silver has a way of silver even has an antibacterial property to it, if
Right.
I understand it.
Right.
Which is like if you're like existent in a time before germ theory,
Yeah.
garlic and silver must have seemed very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you could demonstrably show these things like fighting whatever things make people sick.
Yeah. silver in particular being, more common than gold, was obviously also very precious to people. So of course it would have like kind of a divine sort of imbuement to it.
Man. So I'm the one at this table who is like completely skeptical. I'm not sure where you guys fall on this stuff. I am thoroughly skeptical about basically all the things.
I used to be a pretty firm believer in a lot of that, like conspiracy light. Not conspiracy, but like Atlantis and Loch Ness Monster. I want to believe. I did.
want to believe.
I did until basically I watched several, like the River Monsters episode where he went looking for by popular demand he went to Loch Ness.
Well, if fucking Jeremy Wade can't find the Loch Ness Monster,
nobody
it
can.
doesn't
Right.
exist.
That was basically what it was. It was like he basically scientifically, as a marine biologist, broke down like it's basically not possible.
Right.
Because there's just no food supply to support something.
Being that size, absolutely.
The fish that live in the loch are they don't get that big. They they're just very
they die of alcohol poisoning before they
right.
Something that size couldn't sustain itself before its food supply ran out because it couldn't sustain itself.
They offered like several suggestions as to what it could be.
Right.
Like as far as like biologically speaking, but none of them would ever get that big.
Yeah. Have they considered a swan? It's got a long neck.
It's swan.
Possible. Schwan.
Could it be a swan?
Could it be a schwan?
Swan.
It might be a swan.
Shiggity swan.
No, I used to, but yeah, I can't say that I actually truly believe in any. I used to believe in ghosts when I was younger, and then just not my. I don't know. I just don't buy it.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you guys a ghost story?
Yeah,
this is a story that was told to me by my grandmother, who is no longer alive, Grandma Dragowski, who grew up in New Jersey, and she told me this story. She believed it to her middle. She believed the story.
Yeah,
that she was in bed one night, and she was sleeping, right, and then she woke up. In the middle of sleeping, she woke up because she heard music, right?
Yeah.
So she slowly kind of sat up, and there was a guitar at the foot of her bed that she always had there, right? And there it was floating in the air, and there was a sort of like a white apparition playing the guitar, right? What? So she sits up in bed, and like at the foot of her bed, like 5 feet away, is something playing that guitar. And the minute that it noticed she was looking, it disappeared and the guitar fell. So she had a memory of the guitar falling.
Yeah.
Which would seem to be like the part where you should definitely be awake already.
Yeah.
And that after that, like I'm assuming that she then got up and turned the lights on. She didn't say that part.
Right.
I'm assuming she then like got up and looked around and like the guitar was still on the floor where it would have been.
Yeah.
Like all the things that make you continue to believe that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still skeptical about this story.
Yeah, sure.
Naturally.
And I don't know. Like I that's the only ghost story that anyone in my family has ever told me that was like where I really had to kind of puzzle it out. I don't feel like most people don't really have ghost stories. Some people do. Most people don't really.
The only thing that I can think of, like in my life, was when I was like 13 or 14. I was like right after my grandfather died. I had to have just been a dream. I had a dream that he like walked. I watched him from my position in my bed walk down the hallway, and then like go into my mom's room.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like, I guess, stand at the door, and then turned and walked over, and then just like, kind of like he was just watching, you know what I mean? Just
Sure,
like,
yeah.
like you know, the standard like checking up on you kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and then he like, but he was younger. Like he was dressed as a younger,
That's interesting.
like a younger guy with like a coat and a hat on. And I recognized the outfit from a picture that was hanging up at his house, and now my aunt's house, just on one of those like photo collage picture frames.
Gotcha.
And he just kind of like stayed at the entranceway of my bedroom and then turned around and walked away. That was the only thing that I could think of.
Okay.
I think that's probably just like a dream. You know what I mean?
Probably.
I've had dreams of deceased people that were close to me.
Yeah, I think that's a common.
A coworker that I had at my previous job passed away very, very suddenly one Friday night, and it wasn't until like a year and a half or 2 years later that I had very, very vivid dreams about working at the job I was at with her. And then all of a sudden the realization hitting that she wasn't alive anymore, and me having to kind of like shake myself awake.
Yeah.
It was a very distressing.
That's upsetting.
Yeah. That happened twice. That happened a grand total of twice, but it was really like the vividness of it, because I don't dream very vividly.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do.
I
do
don't
a
either
lot.
anymore. Yeah.
I do a lot.
I used to. I don't dream very vividly anymore. Where my interest in the paranormal kind of falls is usually aliens.
Oh my god, I'm so into alien
Yeah,
stuff.
dude.
So are you aware of the? It's called the Fermi paradox.
It sounds familiar.
It's
Lay it out.
It refers to the contradiction between. It asserts that there is a very, very high probability that intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe, but there's a lack of evidence for it.
Okay, yeah.
And
So yeah,
the easy answer to both of those things is that the universe is so humongous
large.
big.
Right.
so humongous.
So humongous big that like intelligent life must exist
It's
somewhere
basically
else.
impossible that it doesn't. Yeah.
Right,
I mean, it's
but-
basically impossible that it doesn't.
There might be no way we ever see it.
Correct. Yeah. Right. And that's also probably the case. Like that. We're just never gonna know.
I think never is not the right word for that. Nah, maybe not.
Probably not.
Well, okay, so like the like the
would take
death
a long
the
time.
death of our sun would probably actually precede us finding like making contact with something outside of our planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and that of course also depends on like, are we going to be able to settle other worlds before then?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't consider that paranormal because I just consider that to be true. You know what I mean? Like that.
Sure.
That's paranormal in like the pop culture sense. But to me, that
Right.
like that to me, I just default to people who are smarter than me who've all basically said it's almost impossible for there not to be.
It's the
Yeah.
size.
Yeah,
it's the
there's just-
size of our universe.
There's just too much happening.
For that reaction, that specific reaction of amino acids to have never happened anywhere else
Right.
in, millions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars.
Well, now,
Yeah.
especially if you take away the constraint that the life out there has to be at our level of, sophistication.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It just has to be
evolve
life.
to our level.
It could be far above our level, too. And
Right.
that's terrifying.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, if that's the case, if something's going to figure out how to contact something else, it's going to be them to us.
Correct.
And they'll get here first.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's scary.
it'll be like the fucking Protoss show up or whatever. And
Right.
we're just like still cave people.
Yeah, right.
We'll have to. I think I heard the comparison once that if we were to fight something like that, it'd be trying to use sponges against nuclear weapons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Reasonably.
Yeah, we get fucking crushed.
Yeah. So hopefully they're peaceful. Hopefully they've just seen us and they're like, what the fuck are these people? And they just leave.
Yeah.
They might have seen us and decided they didn't like us and left.
Did you guys see the article that was running around last week about a former NASA scientist who was working, I think during he was working for NASA while they were looking at Mars samples in the 70s. And his article was entitled, "I'm convinced we found evidence of life on Mars in the 70s." This was
I don't doubt that.
This is running around, and so like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, whatever. Like I briefly read the first couple of paragraphs, and I went, whatever, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then I saw it referred to other places.
Yeah.
Of people being like first of all, that was a NASA scientist, and I went, oh shit, right?
Yeah.
Like that's interesting. But then the further explanation was like not evidence of existent life, but like
Life in the past.
definite obvious
Yeah.
evidence of previous life.
Right.
What I
That made me go, oh wait, that could be it. That sounds reasonable.
what I heard or what I read, I can't remember where, is that in the frozen poles of Mars, there's ice up there,
Sure.
and in that ice there are bacterial remnants.
Yeah.
That's what I read. I
Well,
can't remember where I read
in
that.
relation to that guy, or just like in general?
Just in general.
Just in general. Well, they've already, they announced not that long ago that they found evidence of running water on Mars.
Right.
So we know that at one point it did, at the very least, have
Yeah.
running water.
The reason that I
had
remember
plumbing.
yeah, that I remember
There's one shitter on Mars.
I remember that led to some inaccurate speculation because if I remember right, the person who found that was Italian. And the way he described it was like there's essentially like dry riverbeds.
Yeah, right.
Or what remains of dry riverbeds on Mars. And the word he used to describe them in Italian was canali. And people mistook that for canals.
Cannoli.
Like constructed...
Yeah.
There's cannoli on Mars. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, we gotta go.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Gino, got my fucking rocket ship.
He says there's cannoli on Mars, and all of a sudden
There's
everyone...
cannoli on Mars.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we got a racket on our hands, boys. No, so,
Maron!
Oh,
But-
Maron.
but what canali actually means is just channels.
Yeah, right.
Like a river channel,
Yeah.
a stream.
Right.
But people, especially conspiracy theorists, looked at it and thought canals, like
Right.
constructed canals.
Yeah,
like,
right. Like that's the difference. Is like a channel, like a naturally or artificially created pathway for water.
Yeah.
Right, is the difference there. So
Right. Right, but the word is canali, and so people immediately went to Venice.
Something else interesting. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was that I heard that China was sending back from Mars or had found on Mars something a plasma-like substance on the surface of not Mars, the moon.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about this?
Plasma-like
So
substance.
this was something that really interested me. I was walking with my dad in Mill Creek Park.
I was walking with my dad in Mill Creek Park.
I was there with Crooked Stan Dragowski.
Crooked Stan Dragowski.
And he was
talking about the Chinese bringing back plasma.
And I said, "Have you heard about my Space Force?"
He was talking about the Chinese, and they were in space, and I thought this guy not so good.
Not so good. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So we were talking about this because the discussion was around China finding something plasma-like on the moon, which is really interesting, right?
Yeah.
And they
Buzz
were
Aldrin's jizz. More like Bust Aldrin, right?
like all those guys got together around a space cracker.
Yeah, right.
And just
Just fucking, just went nuts. I mean, what else are you going to do on the moon?
what was we
Who
saw
was
tonight?
he, right.
Yeah, fry an egg on it.
Yeah.
Did a push up. What else can you do with
What else
it?
can you do with it? Right. You gotta come on it, obviously.
Yeah, you got to jack off on
How
the
many
moon.
times have you cummed on this? Cummed? Came? How many times have you...
Had cummed
And shitted and farted.
I don't think you can get your dick out of your spacesuit.
You don't have to. You just bring your arm in through the sleeve, do your thing, and then just you baggy it up, and then just toss it out and
Hold on a minute.
open your suit up for a second. It's fine.
I don't think that's how that works.
Nah, you just...
I'm sure someone put their cum on the moon. I just don't know how they
were up
did
there
it.
for like 10 years or something. It's a long time.
10 years. You telling me
I don't
Buzz
know.
Aldrin,
Bust
American
Aldrin was on the moon for 10 years and didn't come on
American
it?
hero Bust Aldrin?
You mean to tell me Buzz Aldrin didn't come on the moon?
Yeah, come on. Him and Armstrong.
Get out of town.
He set the world record for the arc on it. I mean, it wasn't on our world, so it might not have counted. But with in lower gravity, that shit just
It just went around, right? And that's what
shot at
just
the back of his
the
own
length
head.
of a football field.
and that's what Pink Floyd's album Dark Side of the Moon was about.
Bet you can't nut into that crater over there.
It's about Buzz Aldrin,
Bet I can.
Bust Aldrin, shooting his load across space and time for the
And
good of America.
Yeah, right. That's American supremacy right there.
That's right. If you can't shoot yourself on a rocket ship aboard,
You know who didn't come on the moon? Russia.
That's right.
Yeah.
No.
Take that, Ilya.
Or Michael Collins.
Phil Collins. You know who didn't come on the moon? Phil Collins.
But also Michael Collins.
Fuck you, Phil Collins.
He had to jerk off in the orbital craft.
God, the list of people who didn't come on the moon is probably
It's
huge.
astounding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people.
It's literally
didn't.
almost everybody.
George Clooney didn't come on the moon.
Right.
Tutankhamun didn't come on the moon.
Socrates.
So
So
crazy.
crazy.
Fucking
Diogenes.
Yeah, right.
Diogenes didn't come on the moon.
Pol
King
Pot never came on the moon.
King Henry VIII didn't come on the
Didn't
moon.
come on the moon.
Nope.
Didn't.
That guy from that Russian music video that goes,
Didn't come on
he
the
didn't
moon.
come on the moon.
Chad Ochocinco didn't come on the moon.
Hank Aaron, no dice.
Babe Ruth never came on the moon.
Zilch.
Benjamin Disraeli,
He pointed like this. but
Nada.
He never got to come there.
Nope.
Clint Howard,
Right.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. No, yeah, Ron Howard.
Porn star Jenna Jameson.
Never came on the moon. You think Jenna Jameson of all people would have had the opportunity to experience an orgasm on the surface of the moon, but no.
Nope.
Science hasn't gotten that far yet.
Nope.
Boy.
God, America has failed us.
What the hell were we talking about? I already forget. I literally don't. Oh no, moon plasma.
Moon plasma.
Got it.
right.
Which is jizz.
It's not in fact someone's jizz.
So the thing is, the idea seemed really interesting that there's plasma on the moon. Like they were like bringing back a weird substance. No one knew what it was. They found on the
that
moon.
makes me feel safe.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah, like bring it to Earth. Why not? We don't know what it is or what
Fuck
it
it,
does.
let's do it.
But the thing is, it turned out to not be anything that interesting. What it actually was, I think, was like essentially glass. So like in absence of gravity and with like sand-like particles like colliding like our moon did with the Earth.
Yeah.
This thing that like what would normally form glass on Earth
Yeah.
in zero gravity is just some weird plasma-like glass
Interesting.
alternative. So it was like apparently they found it.
Well, glass is a plasma.
Right.
Given enough time, glass will melt over like thousands of years.
and the thing is, in zero gravity, it's like much meltier apparently.
Right. Well, also consider the fact that the moon has no atmosphere, and
Right.
so whatever heat's coming from the sun, the reason you can't see stars in the backgrounds of those moon surface photos is because you have to use such a low exposure because that motherfucker is bright.
Yeah.
Really, really
Standing on the
bright.
surface of the moon is fucking bright as shit.
Yeah.
We can see it from here.
Right. Imagine how bright it is to be there on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got those sunglasses visors. They got the you have to use very very low exposure film so you don't burn it out. That's
Right.
why you can't see stars in the background. Or so they say.
Or so they say. No, obviously we faked the moon landing.
Can you wrap your head around the idea of faking the moon landing?
no.
No, it would have been more expensive to
Yes,
do that.
it would have taken more work and more time and more manpower to
Yeah.
make a convincing fake of the moon landing.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show, have we?
Also, we're Americans and we're stubborn enough to just launch ourselves up there.
Hell yeah. Plus, if there was even any chance that it was fake, the first people to point it out would have been the Soviet Union.
Absolutely.
And they did not.
They did
Correct.
not. You're right.
Yeah, right.
Weirdly, the only people that thought it was fake were people here.
Yeah, right.
Which is odd to think about.
Yeah, right. Like the thing is, you have the two most stubborn countries on the planet.
Yeah, maybe still.
Maybe still,
Probably
yeah. Honestly, maybe still.
I mean, China's in the mix now.
China, the failing Chinese government,
The failing, lying Chinese.
the sneaky. No,
Sneaky. Stop.
no,
No,
we're not gonna.
We're
do
gonna
that.
stop. We're gonna
No,
stop
we're not
right
gonna do
there.
that. No.
The dirty, lying, sneaky
Sneaky
Chinese government.
The dirty, lying, sneaky Chinese. No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's a weird thing about me. I just get on Google Maps and go around the world all the time.
Do you really?
And yeah, I spend so much time on Google Maps. You know what I did recently? I took a tour of all of the shit you could find on Google Earth or Google Street View of North Korea.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I did.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize that they had Street View for
You
North
barely
Korea.
can. Barely. But what you can find is something called photospheres. You know what those are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, someone can stand somewhere in North Korea with their phone and make a spherical view of where they are. And then they can post it to Google Maps with the location of where they are. So it's essentially like a street view, like but on one point.
Yeah.
I looked at some of the amazing views from the road surrounding North Korea, like the border roads where you can see crazy mountain views. But you know what I saw the most of is monuments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're everywhere.
Huge monuments all over North Korea.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place, and no one is at them
Yeah. There's nobody there. Right.
because no one gives a fuck about the monuments of North Korea.
Except the tourists who come to visit North Korea.
Except the tourists and except the government themselves.
Sorry, how we got on North Korea?
Just talking. We went from China to North Korea because why not?
Well, it's not a hard line to draw.
Right, they're physically next to each other for
Right.
one.
So the other the whole space conversation made me think of like Lovecraft's mythos and everything, because I was talking about some of this with some people last night.
Okay.
About how terrible Lovecraft was
Yeah.
with regards to
apparently
race.
he was like a big fat racist.
It was, and I mean,
I didn't know that.
It's like the 1920s, so I mean, like,
A
obviously.
lot of people were big fat racists. Yeah.
But apparently he, like, later in his life, he admitted, like, yeah, I grew up in kind of a sheltered upbringing. I didn't know it wasn't appropriate to name my cat that.
Oh shit! What was this?
I can't say it on the
Okay, can you abbreviate it on the air?
N-word man
Oh, really?
was his cat's
That
name.
is a really unoriginal name for a cat.
Yeah. Yeah,
it
Aside
kinda
from the
is.
fact that it's
all one word.
racist.
All one word.
I'm less offended by how racist
Yeah,
it is,
right.
and more offended by the fact that it's a slur plus man.
How fucking stupid of a name for a cat is that? There's way better names for cats.
Yeah.
If you're gonna throw a racial slur at your cat's name, you could get creative with it.
Right. Come on. Right. Seriously. And let's not do that.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
So it's not a discussion to have here, of course.
this is
Right.
not a discussion to have while the microphone is on.
Sure, but later.
But later,
we'll definitely.
we'll definitely come back to that conversation.
But that is definitely a brand of horror that I really like.
So I've never read any Lovecraft.
It's
Is the
re-
toilet running? The goddamn toilet.
Fucking shit.
You got it.
Aubrey, okay.
Thank you, Aubrey. I gotta figure out what
so-
the fuck is going on with my toilet.
You should, at the very least, read Call of Cthulhu. It's the original one that started everything off. It's a short story. It's not like a full book or anything. But there's some great stuff by August Derleth and all sorts of I guess modifications on a theme. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of authors that kind of picked up the eldritch cosmic horror angle and ran with it. The Witcher, weirdly enough, is actually set. It actually makes reference to the Cthulhu mythos.
Oh, really?
Dagoth Ur is actually features in the first game.
Does he?
Yeah,
He's also in Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Really?
yeah. The guy that wrote Conan the Barbarian was good friends with Lovecraft, and so it's established that the Conan universe is also part of the Cthulhu mythos.
No shit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how like the influence that we just don't see or don't pay attention to with that whole franchise. But man, I really get down on that sort of stuff. We played Eternal Darkness, or tried to, that one time.
Yes.
Which is very obviously Lovecraft inspired.
Right.
And then we stopped because the disc stopped working, and then Chris
Broke your
smashed
couch.
through my futon with his ass.
That will never not be funny.
It's always going to be funny.
But Eternal Darkness is easily one of my favorite games of all time, because it plays that angle up so well. The idea that you can see something, and because you can't wrap your head around it, it ends up driving you completely mad.
Yeah, right.
I have a soft spot for those kinds of
I take it.
those kinds of things.
God, everything scares me. Everything
I'm
scares
very
me.
easily spooked out.
Like certain things are scarier than others, but I'm incredibly frightened of just about.
Me too.
everything.
Yeah.
The blood curdling shrieking Jay Hawkins story might as well be about me.
You were born in a coal mine,
I was.
Yeah.
I was born in a coal mine.
so dark that people thought you were black.
I was covered in coal dust.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I've been having so many second thoughts about that joke, but
that's
it's so
such a good
funny
joke.
though.
Here's the
I
thing:
don't
is
want to.
it's certainly maybe a bad joke, but it's funny.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
It's not racist.
the fact, right? The fact
It's just weird.
The fact that it's actually a white guy singing the blues who's afraid of everything
Yeah, right.
is really funny.
No.
I don't think we actually did. We didn't get to that, did we?
No, not yet.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
That's gonna happen eventually.
So eventually, one of the reality or bullshit things I want to do one of these days, because it just now occurred to me,
Okay.
is monsters from Japanese folklore.
Oh yeah,
because
they're
there's some
fucking horrifying.
there's some fucking weird ones.
Yeah, they're really fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
There's one. I obviously won't include this in the reality or bullshit, but there's one who is a woman that if you like, she'll approach you walking towards you at night. You won't be able to see her face, and if you try to avoid her or run away from her, she'll immediately kill you. She'll immediately like rip your throat out.
That sounds nice.
If you try to greet her, she'll immediately kill you or rip your throat out. What you have to do is address her by name and say, "After you." Something to that effect, like let her pass and do so with courtesy and respect, and she'll just go on her way and leave you alone.
Oh, that just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, it's... The Japanese have a real eye for this kind of stuff. A lot of Koreans, too, for that matter. Like, the Koreans made The Grudge.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
fucking creepy-ass
Ju-on.
movie.
Yeah, that movie, the original, is fucking just terrifying.
Yeah.
I think like the stuff to me that is the most scary and that is like the idea of not even necessarily being watched, but having something just there. Just something just off frame, not necessarily watching you, but just there.
Okay.
Right.
Have
You know what I mean?
Have you watched The Haunting at Hill House?
A little bit of it.
The Haunting of Bill Krause.
Have you watched it, Ben?
No.
Okay, so this is not my recommendation, but it kind of is now. You should watch that because let me tell you something about this show that you don't know normally when you start watching it, but might make you want to start watching it. Is obviously it's like a serial about a family that moves into a house to renovate it, and of course spooky things happen there and all that. One of the things you don't know about the show until like halfway in is that they have been layering secret jokes. Secret. There's some real zingers in there.
I killed your son.
Your daughter's
Pie
dead.
to the face.
No.
Tiptoeing like over the father's body. On the top hat and a cane.
Are we sure we're not just describing Beetlejuice at this
We
point?
might just be
The aristocrats. Murder.
So the thing is, if you're not looking for it, and at the beginning of the show you aren't, because you don't know yet, but eventually it becomes obvious they're putting things in the backdrop of the show that you don't quite notice.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, right. So the thing is, I'm telling you this
I mean,
now.
I love that, but
I'm telling you this now because it's a great reason to watch. Is that and it's spooky season.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the further into the show you go, there's things that are hiding in the backdrop that you will just start to notice, that have been like very subtly placed there, and they actually end up being plot points too.
Yeah, right.
It's a show that relies on you eventually noticing
Picking
that.
up on that, yeah.
Yeah. Which is really cool because once you do, you shit bricks.
Yeah, right.
essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
The movie Hereditary, especially towards the end, I recommended that on the show.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I still
We're
haven't seen
going
it.
to watch it.
It's a very aggressively uncomfortable movie. But like especially towards the end, they put things there for you to notice. And you're like meant to notice some of this stuff, but like you don't pick it up necessarily right away. But you're meant to notice things like there's like by the time the movie reaches its crescendo, there's just like This is the kind of horror and paranormal shit that just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Something that you notice, but the characters in the movie don't notice.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's
It
like
makes you hurt.
there's a scene where there's just
Black Swan is really good for
Black
that
Swan
in
is
a few
incredible
places.
for that. I almost recommended that movie. I was almost going to recommend that movie again because I just rewatched it.
I want to see that.
That's a really good movie.
It's incredible.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
But there's like one scene of Hereditary where there's just this woman. I'm not going to ruin anything, but there's just this woman in the frame, barely, just kind of there, like in this position. And the other person in this room doesn't realize that she's there. And it's just, but it's like, it's this hard shot of like this static single shot of this room. And this other person doesn't know that this thing is there. And they get up and they walk out of the room, and then the thing just kind of floats down. And it's just utterly terrifying.
That's that last scene. Not the last scene, but one of the later scenes in Silence of the Lambs, where Jodie Foster has the night vision goggles on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And we can clearly see Buffalo Bill. She cannot.
Right.
Absolutely. I absolutely. It's those little things that, like, especially the more it's like, are you really sure you saw it?
Yeah, right.
Or is it, is it just your brain fucking with you? That's one of the reasons why I can't play scary video games.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, because I'll keep thinking I'm seeing something. It doesn't help that a lot of them are in first person, and you can't immediately see behind you. You don't have the luxury of a director kind of guiding
your eye, right?
Vision, right? There could be something right behind you, and you'd never know,
right?
Until you turn the fuck around,
and it's right there, right?
Yeah, BioShock Infinite flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh god.
That fucking guy in the control booth.
Yeah. Fuck that noise. There's a really good one of those in the first BioShock where you like everybody's frozen in this room.
Yeah.
Like you're in the icebox room and all these people are like frozen.
Yeah.
And you like engage this thing to de-thaw the room basically so you can progress. And the very second you turn around, there's somebody right in your face.
Yeah.
And they hold for a second and then they just swing something at you to like hit you. The first time I played that game, I remember I went to turn around to progress and that thing was right there and I went, Jesus Christ! And I threw my controller over my head because it scared me so bad.
Spec Ops: The Line is really good for that too.
Oh yeah.
It really has a lot of those, like, did I actually see that or
right.
Kind of moments. There's a part where there's a heavy machine gunner in the that empty store with all the mannequins.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Oh, that fucking thing. Because it happens right in the middle of what appears to be a normal combat sequence.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the dude's fucking teleporting. What you've been shooting at the whole time is a mannequin, and you have to adjust your aim again. It's a fucked up game.
Yeah.
Those and that takes advantage too of a natural phenomenon in human psychology called pareidolia.
Yeah.
Which is where your brain constructs a meaningful image out of meaningless stimuli.
Right.
That's why you can look at a bush or shrub and think, like, is that a person?
Yeah. I feel like it tends to manifest as faces.
It tends to manifest as
faces or figures.
Familiar figures, familiar shapes. It's why we can see shapes in the clouds.
Right.
It's why the Horsehead Nebula is called the Horsehead Nebula.
Right.
But yeah, anything that takes advantage of that, anything that makes you think like, did I actually see that, or am I just fucking up?
Like the conveniently shaped lamp from
from Undertale.
I love that joke so much.
It's so fucking funny.
I told you guys. I think I told you at least earlier, but like Christy has been expressing an interest in playing Undertale, and I absolutely want her to play this game.
Yes, she should.
Yeah,
she absolutely should. I don't know. So like, as far as like traditional paranormal stuff and folklore related things, I'm kind of really into vampires.
Oh,
honestly.
really? Just like an interest, like a belief or an interest?
An interest, not really a belief.
Gotcha.
But I've like to an extent where on the rare occasion, the very rare occasion that I sit down to write something, I'm like, maybe I should do something with vampires.
Right.
You know, and not like the sexy vampires, not like the, you know, although,
Right.
you know.
I think vampires are somehow inherently sexy. Not somehow. They are inherently sexy.
Yeah, they're creatures of
Decadence.
Decadence, yeah, hedonism.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about vampires?
What's that?
Let me tell you this thing, and I think you've probably heard it before. But apparently, there exists this thing in sort of like American political life of like, what are the things that what we have like decided are the two kinds of people fear, right? So
Yeah.
in America's two-party system, it exists because we have identified two kinds of people, and so what the things that Republicans fear and Democrats fear are very different, which accounts for the fact that not consistently, but like as a trend, during years of Republican control, there is a spiked interest in zombie films or zombie material.
Okay.
During years of Democrat control, there's a spiked interest in vampire material. And if you look at it, of course it does. Because, like, the Democrats fear the unthinking masses just, like, sort of following something without, you know...
And the Republicans fear the bloodsuckers that want to take everything you have and...
that and the licentiousness of the decadence of vampirical living, right? There's something that's inherently sexual.
Right.
Like...
and not just sexual, but, like, extremely liberally sexual.
Yeah, right.
You know, orgies and...
Exactly. Like, that's the decadence
Sexual
thing.
chaos.
Right. So it's funny.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it's true, but at the time that I read about it, it seemed true because they cited the examples of like during this time period, this thing got really big. During this time period, this thing got really big.
And then when the Green Party is in charge, there will be an interest in werewolf movies because America's going to worry that, you know, they want to turn us all feral and live in the woods and eat raw meat. But
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
If it ever happens, we'll find out.
It's not going to happen.
But what people fear is contextual to the time they're living in.
Sure.
And who's in control.
Makes perfect sense.
And what might happen next.
Same
and all
reason that
stuff.
like during the 1950s and the Red Scare, there were all these like alien, the sci-fi boom, all
Yeah.
these aliens, and
Invasion from
the
the
invasion.
outside.
Invasion from an unknown.
Right. Something that doesn't subscribe to any of your ideas.
Right.
Right.
Which, you know, of course, makes me think of one of my favorite movies, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
So good.
classic.
One of my dad's favorite movies. He showed it to me, and it was an instant hit in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It definitely depends on the times, and of course because the Dawn of the Dead remake came out in 2004, that
Yes.
definitely tracks.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There was this huge zombie peak, I feel like, up between like 2000 to 2008. That definitely tracks.
Absolutely, the first Left 4 Dead came out around that time as well. I
I
think.
feel like The Walking Dead may well have started at the tail end of that.
P.S. I left my beer upstairs. Oh no.
Oh, well, thank God I found this one.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, but
And then the Twilight movies, if it's worth mentioning, I think that must have also coincided with Obama's tenure.
it certainly did.
Right.
So like that's a kind of vampire that I obviously didn't have much interest in. Aubrey sat me down one night to watch Interview with the Vampire.
That's a good flick.
Which I surprisingly really
good
liked.
flick, yeah.
I didn't think I was going to
I
like
didn't
it
either.
at first.
First time I watched it.
It's
heard it's
really
good.
good.
I've heard
it's
it's
really
good.
good.
It's good.
I've also heard it's like a surprisingly accurate courtroom procedural.
Yes.
Courtroom
Yeah,
proceedings.
there's something legal to it, is there not?
Not to
Like a legal procedural?
Are we thinking about different things then?
Maybe I am.
We might be thinking about different things. It's. I don't think there's a courtroom scene in.
Maybe not.
Maybe there's no courtroom scene in
No,
Earth.
there's not.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking
My
about.
cousin Tom Cruise.
So,
My cousin O.J. Simpson.
so no, but it was interesting to me because Brad Pitt's character Louis reacts to being a vampire in, I think, a way that a lot of people would react to being a vampire, which is like, well, fuck, I can't die. I have to feast on blood to survive. This kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Tom Cruise's character, Lestat, is fucking living it up, having the time of his life, on life. He gets off on the whole thing. He loves drinking blood. He loves the fact that he's immortal. He can do whatever the hell he wants and never really suffer consequences for it.
Makes sense. Fair enough.
It's a really interesting vampire movie because there's two conflicting perspectives on what it's like to actually be a vampire.
Yeah.
But I always thought it would be fun to have, kind of like a Blade type. We need more Blade type stuff.
I love those
with,
movies.
with like a vampire who like knows he can kick ass.
Yeah.
And so he does.
Right.
Those movies, the comics are great. Those movies are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you take them at face value, which is all they're trying to do. If you're not looking for Oscar worthy material, I love those movies.
It's an action movie. It's just there to be blind fun and do what it does.
Yeah.
But I started thinking too about because I mentioned I got a lot of ideas for vampire fiction.
Right.
Sitting down and writing something like I guess what kind of vampire can you make as far as like strengths and weaknesses, maybe the sun doesn't immediately kill them, but it hurts a hell of a lot,
okay.
Where would a moral vampire go to get blood? Well, maybe there's some fucking temp working the blood vaults at the hospital, and exchanges blood bags for cash, and you just drink them like a Capri Sun.
That's a really interesting way to deal with the idea of the ongoing Red Cross blood shortage.
Yeah,
there's never enough.
Right.
And they're constantly emailing me anyway. I don't know if you guys have ever donated blood and gotten on that mailing list.
I got off of it. I successfully got off of that mailing list.
We
it's
talked about this a long time ago.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
Yeah,
I'm off. I haven't had a call from them in ages.
Yeah, we talked about this a really long time ago, like years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually donated blood.
If you get on that list, they will bother you every single week, and what they do is tell you the truth, which is like there's not enough blood.
Well, I'm gonna I'll send them a what's up?
I was just gonna say in The Sims, when you're a vampire in Sims 4, you can either drink people's blood or there's plasma packs that are literally like Capri Sun.
It's just like a blood pouch.
Yep,
That's awesome.
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun, but it's just blood.
Slam and slaughter.
Sunny type B.
Sunny B positive.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would be remiss if we talked about this topic and didn't talk about that pop culture phenomenon that made me break your chair, Slender Man.
Slenderman.
Remember when Marble Hornets was super popular?
Mr. Slenderman.
Why did you break his chair?
Because there was a particularly scary.
not on purpose.
It was a particularly scary scene
Is it
in
the
Marble
one where he
Hornets.
was outside the house, or was it? Do you
No,
remember?
it was one where one of the disciples jumps off the couch and leaps towards the.
Where they're walking in the house investigating.
That was To the Ark, right?
Yeah.
The guy with the mask on.
Yes.
Yeah. So like he's like investigating the house, and it's all this like quick camera work of all this like spooky shit, and then it cuts down this long hallway, and there's just
A dude sitting on a
just
couch.
a dude with a mask on sitting on
Yeah.
a couch, and he like calls this guy's name because they're looking for somebody. And this thing gets off the couch very slowly and then bounds like an animal.
Yeah, just on all fours.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
freaky
it's
as fuck.
fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were sitting around a computer at your dining room table with
That's
like
right.
4 people, and I was in a plastic lawn chair that you brought in from outside. And I went, and I like I literally ripped the arm of the chair off.
No, the thing is, he didn't just he broke it in 2 places at once. He pulled the corner of the arm off in one chunk.
Just boom, I jumped so hard
Where it
that
goes from like the seat and up to the side.
Yeah,
he grabbed the corner out.
I jumped back so hard that I literally ripped the arm of this chair
I feel
off
like this is the first of maybe 3, possibly 4 chairs.
that I've destroyed. Yeah. scared the shit out of me. Yeah,
It was so scary.
and it wasn't even like a jump scare.
No, because you think you know something's gonna happen.
You know something's gonna happen. It was just so like
That's not what you expect to happen. You expect him to maybe like stand up suddenly, not to just like come bounding at you on all
he
fours.
just kind of rolls his way forward out of the seat and then just immediately starts bounding quickly on all fours.
It's freakish.
It is very freakish.
The thing is, those guys did a great job.
They did.
They did.
I feel like
That was the work of 3 film students.
now, for the most part, I feel like if you were to evaluate overall every episode they made, probably like 1 out of 4 of them was really good.
Yeah.
And probably like 3 of them were just kind of filler.
Right.
Sure.
And they weren't boring filler, but they were definitely filler. You know,
Right.
like they were always leading up to something really interesting happening.
Right.
And I think that's why they kind of fizzled out a bit.
Yeah. Right.
Well, there's that, and then just like Slender Man in general kind of fizzled out. There were,
did.
there were like however many games where you like walked around collecting 8 notes.
Like
It got
the 8
super
pages
huge.
and shit.
If anybody knows anything about Slender Man, it was just something that came out of Something Awful forums, which a lot of really creepy.
Some awesome Photoshop.
Yeah, some awesome photoshops and a lot of really creepy pasta kind of stories came out of there. But it was basically just this faceless, tall, lanky man in a suit with literally no face.
Yeah.
Who just
Steals children, I guess.
steals children and like what feeds on people's emotion, I guess. Is
Yeah,
that-
or their fear and their all that.
You'll distort any video recording that's taken of him, and
because he has a weird energy that like garbles videotape.
right.
Yep.
There's static and shit.
Which gives you, like, as a filmmaker, when Marble Hornets was super popular, that gives you a lot of leeway. You know what I mean?
It lets you take boring footage and make it really
jazz it up,
scary.
right?
Yeah.
Because you know something's nearby and you can't see it, you don't know where it is yet, but you know it's there.
Yeah.
There's one scene of that I remember where they're like at this guy's house and they're trying to find evidence because they think he's fallen. Without getting into like crazy specifics into this guy's into the Slender Man's grasp.
Right.
So they're like searching through his house, and all of a sudden the video footage starts going wonky, and they like realize that they have to hide. And they
Oh my god! I remember this one.
They duck into a closet, and the hall light comes on, and you just see a very like tall set of
Incredibly tall thing.
like this long set of legs walk past the shadow of this set of legs walk past through
Those like closet doors where there's slats,
The
like
slats.
horizontal slats.
Yeah.
You can kind of see down,
so
but
you can
not
just
up.
see these legs very slowly walking
Yeah.
down the hallway, and the video footage crinkles.
Oh my god, that was so creepy!
Yeah.
And it stops for a minute too.
Yeah.
It stops outside the closet, so you're like, "Yep, he's found us."
Yeah, right.
Oh god.
Okay, really good, really effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of stuff came out of like not just talking about movies and not just talking about like the crazy pop culture stuff that we all know, but like
Right.
a lot of people are creative enough on the internet that they came up with some pretty terrifying shit.
Do you guys follow the No Sleep subreddit?
A little bit,
Nah.
yeah. I read some of the
I
stories.
haven't tried in a
They're
while.
usually pretty. They're usually too long for me to really sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
But I feel like No Sleep is continuing a really like a long tradition of these like creepypasta stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like to this day.
The Rake, you guys ever remember the Rake?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
The Rake?
It was basically this humanoid beast creature that would hide out in the woods and drag people off. It's this terrifying. All the drawings of it are like absolutely
Oh
horrifying.
my god, I gotta see one of them. What's that, Aubrey?
It hangs out at the end of your bed.
Yes.
Oh no! Things at the end of my bed are not good. I don't like it.
As far as like internet specific efforts too, the SCP wiki, there's a
SCP.
secure, contain, protect.
Oh, is that the sort of like it's like the federation that you can join?
Yeah, it's the foundation.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative writing project. I lurk on there. I've never like submitted or taken part in the community, but they take it very seriously.
There's the picture of the Rake.
I don't
Nice.
like that.
They
You're not
ta-
supposed
It's
to.
all spine.
they take it to their unending credit. They take it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
They set certain standards about how an article should be written. It's all in this very clinical kind of tone.
Right.
There's even they have sections about how to write an SCP article.
Yeah.
and again, for anyone who doesn't know, this is all like anomalous objects and life forms and locations.
Yeah.
And
The idea is that you're like out in space, just sort of like. Isn't that the idea?
Not out in
not
space.
in space. No,
That was in space where you're like exploring like foreign worlds and stuff.
no. This the vast majority of this takes place on this planet in this
Really?
dimension.
Oh, okay.
And then it's in like a really deep underground facility.
Oh, okay.
basically.
Well, it's like a worldwide operation with many
Yeah.
different facilities.
Okay.
But it's like this mysterious clandestine organization that contains and catalogs these unusual things.
Okay.
Some of them are alive, some of them are objects, some of them are entire locations, and all of them are written in this really uncomfortable, like clinically distant
very
kind of
clinical
tone.
Very clinical.
Okay.
Where
They're not written like fiction. They're written like cataloging something.
Yeah,
that
like a
definitely-
Right.
government cataloging
Yeah.
of something.
now there is fiction on the site. There is actual like prose, like regarding this universe.
Jesus, dog, fuck off, dog. God damn it, go lay down, dog. Shut the fuck up and go lay down, dog.
Asshole!
No,
That's the opposite of what we
shut
wanted.
up. God damn it, dog. What happened is Christie's home now, so he's
Right.
doing this.
Right. But yeah, it's worth perusing some of the highest rated articles on that site sometime, and just it's unsettling.
Yeah.
a lot of them are unsettling. Some of them are just unusual without being spooky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some, of them,
right.
some of them are cute and actually fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
there-
What am I thinking of?
There's an entire section devoted to joke SCPs,
Yeah,
and those are hysterical.
Okay, I like it.
I'll have to find the one that is my favorite when we go back upstairs. The joke SCP.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of them are very, very creepy and very, very. They tell a narrative through things like the documentation and then like experiment logs or exploration logs.
Gotcha.
They'll like tell an entire story.
Cool idea.
It's one of those things that really exploits fear of the unknown. Like you don't know where this comes from. You don't know what causes it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's there is already unsettling enough. But then like it's all the stuff you don't know about it.
Right.
You know?
I got you.
It's definitely an exercise in really quality collaborative horror writing.
Yeah. I like the idea. I like the idea of just like, well, I don't know how long they've been around, but this idea of like a group storytelling.
while. Yeah,
Group storytelling is really cool.
Yeah,
And
and
one
like,
of the reasons I really like that subreddit, Have We Met?
oh yeah,
Right? Just the idea of like enough people.
which is not creepy, but is also hilarious.
Right, like not scary, but like, it's like a fictional
Yeah.
town and everyone really pretends to exist in it.
Right.
I love the idea of like a group of people forming a story together.
Yeah, and again, the community, the SCP community, takes the writing efforts very seriously.
Yeah, that's the best part, right?
You gotta submit it for some reviews,
Right.
if you got an idea, brainstorm with the community and
Right.
and really flesh it out because
Before it's like finalized and in the record.
if you just toss a first draft onto the wiki, it will be downvoted to hell.
Yeah, right.
I've seen it happen, and there've been some real clunkers.
Yeah.
Someday, if there isn't already, there will be a book on this, right? Like a chronology.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
already several games that people have made.
Around this SCP stuff?
Yeah.
There's a source mod called SCP Secret Laboratory.
No shit.
It's multiplayer. You can SCP Secret Laboratory. There's SCP Containment Breach,
Yep.
Okay.
which I think is single player.
Yes. And scary.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of incredible what they've done. And I absolutely respect the conviction and seriousness of with which they treat it, because it's definitely an effort to be commended. But
I almost feel like it's time.
it sure looks like it.
Time.
The thing is, this is going quickly, isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah.
sure is, buddy.
This is a fun topic to talk
Yeah.
about, and I could talk for hours about.
Like, so Christy's just like creepily waving through the blankets there.
What? She's not here?
Oh, what? Is this like some kind of Christie or something?
What's like some kind of MacGuffin or something?
I gotta get out of here and go on there with you.
Yeah. I'll see you in a bit. All right.
This is a private establishment.
I don't want to do that.
Well,
Yeah, let's. You know what? So I feel like we did Spooky Time justice, which is good.
I think so.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Icky stuff and junk.
Something about Iraq. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, yeah. So let's.
George Bush did 9/11, and Dick Cheney helped him.
That's like. That's just
not funny.
That's just the truth.
That's just the truth.
That's just what actually happened.
George Bush did.
Bush did 9/11.
He did 9/11.
It's time to play Bush did 9/11. All right.
Show me Tower 7.
Jesus Christ.
That's not funny.
That's not funny at all.
So anyway,
That's just a national tragedy.
There's nothing funny about that tragedy.
That's just a nation that is still
Recovering.
mourning over a
Just-
huge tragedy.
Just licking the wounds of that horrible day.
anyway,
we'll be back in a minute, I guess.
back with recommendations and what we've learned.
God.
You're listening to the Three Dudes podcast.
Unfortunately.
Always jerk off before you go to bed.
Investigate Karl Rove.
Like whoever the author is
Yeah, let's do an SCP reading
might be at the bottom of the article.
with credit to the author.
Let's see if I can find one here.
Since we got on the subject of these SCPs, I feel like it'd be good to read one.
I don't think it has the author on the wiki here, so I'm just going to read it.
It's not on the real.
It should be somewhere. Well, okay.
We'll see if we can find it. You don't have to do it on mic.
Yeah, we got to do it.
All right. Well, item SCP. This is SCP-173.
Okay.
SCP-173 special containment procedures. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container.
This is a very famous one.
Description. Yeah, I just picked creepiest ones, and this is one of the first ones that came up.
Yeah, this is a very famous one.
Description. Moved to Site 1993. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must be broken at any time with must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to enter the container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Okay. So the image used in the SCP-173 article is the art piece Untitled 2004 by Izumi Kato. The photograph was taken by.
Yeah, it got this famous that the actual artist of the sculpture he graciously allowed them to continue using it for this purpose.
Wow.
So yeah, it's and this is how horrifying.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
It's so unsettling. Isn't
It's creepy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I feel like it's like the Weeping Angels, right?
Yeah. If you blink, it kills you.
Right. Like
It can't move if you're looking at it.
Right.
I'm trying to find the author information on this, but I really can't.
Good going, SCP. Come on.
Fucking
Come on. Like, show us who wrote it.
Fucking Jesus Christ. Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can't really
Yeah, right.
find the author is.
Dead air.
That's why I said don't record it.
Fucking dead fucking air.
So anywho,
Anyway, yeah, but that's kind of what those look like when you flip through them and read them. Hey, everybody, we're back.
what up?
Hello.
Say, everybody, have you seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown. If you ever need a quick me up, just stick my balls in your mouth. Ooh, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them. Ooh, suck on my chocolate salty
I miss
balls.
Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
Full of vitamins and good for you.
It's a shame the Church of Scientology fucking killed him.
So suck on my balls.
They kind of did, right? In
They absolutely
in a
did.
way. In their way.
No, they absolutely did. Like fucking clandestinely kill him.
What?
They did. He because he came out and said, after South Park's first Scientology episode, he said, "Oh, well, those guys make fun of everybody," and then very soon after, he became mysteriously ill.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was like shortly because he had to walk back his statements, if you remember correctly, and leave the show.
Oh, man.
And then very suddenly, not that long after that, he just got sick and died.
Yeah. They did the episode of the show about the Super Adventure Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
for
where they
me was-
recycled Chef voice
They
clips.
Took old chef lines like, I specializes in your asshole, children.
I want to make love to the children.
I'm gonna.
Come on, children. Let's go home and make love.
Oh, it's so funny.
So they called it the fruity little club that he belonged
fruity
to.
little club,
The Super Adventure Club.
Little club, yeah.
I don't get it. Why can't we hang out with Chef because it was fruity little club?
Now that you know our terrible secret, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Man, fuck Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Scientology. Let's say that out
Yeah,
loud.
fuck Scientology.
Fuck Scientology.
Fuck you, David Miss Cabbage. Fucking Miss Cabbage.
Miss Cabbage.
David Piss Cabbage. You
Piss
piece of shit.
cabbage. There you go.
Where's Shelly Miss Cabbage, you motherfucker?
Get her out of that fucking hole in the ground you put her in.
She's your wife, you piece of shit.
L. Ron Hubbard was a subpar sci-fi author.
He was bad at everything.
More like David Miscarriage of Justice that we can't find his wife.
More like David misplaced his wife.
More like David definitely has her in a locked camp somewhere where she's in the dark and probably eating glass.
More like Elrond Hubbard. That doesn't scan.
That doesn't.
More like Elron. More like Elron fuckhead.
That also maybe doesn't.
Well, I mean,
That's-
I would just call him a fuckhead.
No, I mean, he was a fuckhead.
He was.
The Dark Lord Xenu.
Hello,
Dude.
humans. This
They
is
elected him
Xenu.
the supreme ruler.
Don't try lying, because I've seen you. Now unveiling my once expensive secrets. Believe me, people, I'm as freaking real as Jesus.
Operating Thetan.
Scientology is one of the funniest and silliest of belief systems. It's so obvious.
But you can't, like, the thing is, once you get to the point in Scientology
That's the real
where they
problem.
tell you all that wacko shit,
It's too late.
it's too late. You're in
You've
too
sunk
far.
in things, tens of thousands, if not hundreds.
and they
of
all
thousands.
Gambler's fallacy.
They remind they like reveal this shit to you, and everybody who gets out of it was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, what? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, like who could ever think that?
Right. But you can't say anything about it
You
because
bought your way up there for one.
yeah, and
And
two,
they have that
two,
secrecy
they will
contract.
fucking end you.
They know everything about you.
Right.
They know your dirtiest, awfulest, evilest, they know the worst things about you, and they are waiting to use them on you. Like all that shit no one tells anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that in a filing cabinet with your name on it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
just gonna air my dirty laundry here on air. One time, I found a $20 bill on the ground and I kept it.
one time. Try every time I've ever found a $20 bill.
Yo, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to you more than once?
Yeah, several times actually.
Shit.
I found 100 on the ground
I'm
at
walking
Farmore one time when I was like 8.
I'm walking around the wrong grocery stores.
Somebody dropped
you
a
were.
$100 bill at Farmore.
That seems odd.
I did
Remember Farmore?
I do remember Farmer. I did return someone's wallet to them, but that's, it had their fucking ID in it, and obviously, I'm not gonna fucking
No, you don't take, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if there's no identification attached to it, yeah.
Finders keepers,
Finders
bitch.
keepers, yeah, sorry.
So let me throw this at you real quick before we move on. Recently, my mom gave me a box that she had been keeping in the basement since I was younger. Right?
Okay.
This is starting
here's-
out like a creepy
Whose
podcast.
ashes were in it?
What?
Whose ashes were in it?
No,
It had
It's
Gwyneth Paltrow's head in it.
what's in the box?
What's in the box? It's a new line of my products. Here's this $50 cream that might give you cancer.
Here's a jade egg to cram up your pussy.
Shove it right in there, Dave.
I did. It didn't do much for me, but
So what was in the box?
so the thing is, it was like collections of things from my childhood. Pictures, for one. There's at least 3 of these made me cry my fucking eyes out. Like one of my
Aw.
parents at like my parents at like my dad was like 23 and my mom was like 21.
Oh my god.
And like they're so young. I have to show you guys one time. If I can do it without like bawling in front of you, I will. But one of the things that was in there was like a stuffed animal of mine, and it was in a plastic bag, and that bag was from Farmore, and it had the
Yeah.
fucking Farmore logo,
Yeah, dude.
on the bag, and I went, oh my god, like I can't believe this doesn't exist now,
Yeah.
and it was everywhere back then.
Right, yeah. Farmore. Oh my god.
It was like totally ubiquitous back then, right?
That was like the place to go though.
Yeah,
in
dude,
Austintown.
to go to get movies,
Yeah.
or like anything really.
Didn't that dude lose Farmore because he was like gambling on basketball or something, or
I don't know.
like some bad investments?
Oh shit, really?
It was something like
Could be.
that. Like the guy who owned Farmore, like either lost it all on gambling on basketball, or like he invested in a basketball team he knew he was failing.
I'm
or-
sure the internet knows.
Yeah,
I don't, but I'm sure the internet knows.
I can't remember what it was, but anyway,
Anyway,
we're gonna talk about things that make us happy and that
Sure.
we want our friends to experience, so that it can make them happy too. There's a name for those things. And that name is recommendations.
oh, all right, makes sense.
That's how words work.
That is how words work.
So, Dave, do you have a recommendation for us?
Oh boy, I probably should have sooner. No, I have some things. I have some things. I don't know if it's cheating, but it's an extension of a recommendation I made already. No, you know what?
That's not cheating.
not cheating. We've done that.
We've wholesale recommended
Right.
things we've recommended before.
I'm gonna do 2 half recommendations.
Okay.
Number
Why, that
one,
adds up to one whole recommendation.
why it sure does.
My word.
That's cheating.
What are you,
Gadzooks.
what are you, some kind of fucking Pythagoras or something? With all your
Whoa,
fucking
whoa.
math?
Oh, whoa,
Whoa, what are we doing back on Earth? We got to get up to the moon and get those cannoli.
What, you like some guy who knows that a half plus a half is a whole one or something?
What the
Tony, we get
what
those.
the fuck?
Get that cannoli loaded.
So let me give you 2. Number 1 is that I have recommended this before, Letterkenny, which everybody that has watched it in my life loves this show.
Yeah, dude.
Is back for another season, and it's already out.
Yeah.
So they dropped their 7th season. I haven't finished it all, but I will tell you that the first couple of episodes that we watched have been very good. They did. It seems like they're starting the show off with this odd idea of like the Letterkenny guys are doing a call-in show. So they're like all sitting there in a studio with their producers, which are like other people on the show, and taking weird calls, and it's been really funny. God, I wish I had more to say about it than that.
That's why it's a half recommendation.
It's a half recommendation.
Recommendation 2.
I started watching it. It's funny. And then recommendation 2.
It's Chernobyl.
Yes, HBO's Chernobyl.
The physical location, Chernobyl.
Oh my God.
Go visit it, or don't.
Do and then come back and tell us, because we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's killing me. I can't remember what my second fucking recommendation was.
I just can't.
Oh no.
It's killing me. Take it, God.
Schindler's List.
Well, it was good.
Shit, there's this. It's a. I'm sorry.
This is not helping.
Oh man. Woo. Wow.
No.
Oh boy. Riveting entertainment.
Chris, why don't you recommend something? I'm sure I'll think of it when you're not needling me.
Sorry. Okay. Since this topic is spooky time. Sorry. Oh, I'm trying to recover here. Since this topic is spooky time, I'm going to recommend what I still consider to be the finest horror movie ever made. The Flintstones 2, Viva Rock. No. No. Sorry. Sorry. Whew. I'm going to recommend The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I think The Exorcist is, from a cinema standpoint, perhaps the finest example of horror ever made in this country. It is a delightfully, horrifyingly nice and steady, slow build-up to what is ultimately one of the most satisfying climaxes in movie history.
Yes.
If you don't know anything about The Exorcist, which I'm amazed that you don't, but if you don't, it's basically about this single mother and her young daughter. Like the mother is like an actress, and they live pretty well off, and they're in this. They're staying at this place while the mother is filming this movie, basically. And during the course of several months, the girl Reagan starts to exhibit like really strange symptoms, like she's getting sick, but it's starting to manifest itself as what is presumed to be mental illness at first, and then throughout the course of the movie starts to become clear that this is a case of demonic possession. With the entire movie, everybody being very skeptical of that.
Now this is a Dr. Phil level threat.
Right. So like throughout the course of the movie, it goes from everybody being incredibly skeptical. It's so, for like a 1970s movie, to not slap you in the face with like, well, no, this is definitely, you know what I mean, demonic possession.
Right.
Everybody is understandably super skeptical of this thing until it becomes blatantly apparent that there is something else at play here. And it builds up to that point. Like the fact that the movie was made in the early 70s and looks as good as it does,
It's still good.
and is and filmed as well as it
It's
does,
still scary,
and is
too.
and is as terrifying as it manages to be even now, 5 decades later, which is insane. Almost 5 decades later.
There's a famous scene of Linda Blair going down the stairs
Backwards on her hands. Oh my God, it's fucking
which is
horrifying.
It continues to horrify.
Yeah. And then the mother doing a good job of being understandably completely and totally distraught through the entire film.
Right.
Because things are just getting worse. And it's things like going up, like the subtle changes that take place during the movie. Like they go upstairs and they've removed all the sheets off the bed and all the pillows.
Right.
And all the bedposts are tied with padding. And she's tied to the bed, and it's cold upstairs when you go up into the top floor of the house. It's cold. You know what I mean? Like just the little subtle things, like people can see their breath when they walk up the stairs, and it's just tons of really exemplary, horrifying imagery, and like really grotesque and like at the time and even now still like really shocking things that are said and happened. Yeah, right.
Well, you're thinking the same thing I am.
Yeah, right.
The horrible crucifix
Yeah,
scene.
right.
That's the thing that bothers me and will always bother me.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like evil thoughts you sometimes occasionally come across is that horrible crucifix scene.
Right. When, but like also from like a scare. I remember there's one scene in the movie where they send doctors up to her room, and she like slams the door. The door slams behind these people, and then all of a sudden the chest of drawers comes sliding forward and pins one of the doctors into the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's just this like super aggressively horrifying scenario where, you know what I mean? And it's just counterpointed with all this really religious iconography, which will already set the stage for like creepiness. If done correctly, any religious iconography from any religion anywhere can be tremendously creepy and effective.
Well, of course.
In a horror movie.
Anything reverential, if it becomes like
broken.
Broken
Right.
or like represented in the opposite effect,
Right.
becomes really scary.
Yes. Yeah.
Like anything sacred can be anti
Right.
sacred, I guess. I don't know how to put it. But
think of that. It was Hellraiser, right? Where you know, before the dude gets pulled apart, the last thing he says is Jesus wept.
Yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah, it's creepy. The first couple Hellraiser movies are really creepy,
they are.
and then they turn into something really
bullshit,
silly,
right, yeah.
weird. There's a Hellraiser in space, naturally, because of course there is.
Hellraiser in space.
Fucking hate that. But yeah, no, Exorcist is like, I don't want to ruin anything for people who maybe haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine there's a lot of people out there who haven't watched it, but you know, if you haven't, you really have never watched it all the way through.
I've never seen it to begin with.
You really should.
I know I should.
It's a great flick. I have it on Blu-ray. If you guys ever want to watch that movie and be,
This is the time.
yeah, this is the perfect time to do it. If you ever want to watch a movie,
Maybe next Tuesday or the Tuesday after.
yeah, it's a really really great flick. A lot of real classic, memorable lines in that movie.
Yeah.
Without you spoiling anything, the obvious ending stuff, but like there's
The ending is the window thing, right?
what a lovely day for an exorcism.
That's not spoilery.
That is not
right?
spoilery. No.
No, it doesn't tell me anything.
I don't want to ruin anything for you, but it's a really good movie. Still holds up as one of the scariest movies ever made.
Yeah.
And well shot, well acted, well filmed.
And wherever it isn't scary, it's unsettling. Like the whole movie doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, through the whole thing. And it's just, I'm a big fan of that nice, long, slow build up to this thing where things just get progressively worse.
Yeah.
And more fucked up to the point
me
where
too.
This is where we're at, where everything has just gone so bizarre.
Yeah.
Watch The Exorcist. If you haven't watched it, if you have watched it, watch it again. It's worth it. I'm definitely going to rewatch it this Halloween. You should too. One of the best scary movies ever made. I still maintain one of the best movies ever made. It's really good. Check it out.
Can I give my other half real quick?
Yes, please do.
I remembered what it was.
Did you remember?
I'm still debating on what my.
I'll make mine
recommendation's gonna be.
short. So I already mentioned Letterkenny, but the other half of this is Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah.
Which is a show I watch obsessively now. It's become like where like a lot of people rewatch The Office.
Yeah.
Now Silicon Valley is my rewatch, where it's just on while I'm doing stuff. The new season is coming around the corner here. I don't think it's out yet.
I thought it
isn't.
was.
No, it's not out yet. I don't think so. It's really soon.
Mm-hmm.
If you have been watching this show, the thing is they stopped doing it for like 2 years.
Right. I remember.
So what happened was like TJ Miller had his meltdown kind of thing, and they stopped making the show. And then I feel like they just didn't.
Officer TJ Miller.
I don't know what it took for them to come back, but they did. They kind of wrote TJ Miller out at the end of the last season. So it's finally coming back. The thing about this show now is that it is very timely. Well, it's always been timely, but right now, where tech stands today, did you get it?
No, I did not.
Where is he? Did I get him?
Little cocksucker.
No, I didn't get him. Goddamn gnats.
That's all right.
I can't wait for
Anyway,
winter.
so-
Yeah. This show always feels timely, but it feels especially timely right now because they did a couple of years off, and now Richard Hendricks, who is the CEO of a company called Pied Piper on this show, is doing things like testifying to Congress, very Zuckerberg-like.
Yeah.
Trying to defend his company's position in the world, and then also other characters like the financier Russ Hanneman on the show is trying to throw together something that looks exactly like Fire Festival, right? Like all these little bits of the show that they were out for 2 years, and when they came back, everything they were doing feels very current. That's it.
Good,
I'm going to
good.
keep it short and say, watch this show when it comes back. I'm certain it will be good, and I'm sure it will feel really relevant. And actually, if you haven't seen any of the show,
I have not.
I've not either.
you really should. It's funny. You won't regret it. You won't. It's Mike fucking Judge. Everything Mike Judge does is funny.
Yeah.
So watch Silicon Valley.
Excuse me.
Any of it. Any of the show.
All right. My recommendation is not so much for you guys, but more for listeners who may have not indulged yet. A friend of mine from the internet, excuse me,
Morty.
recently started watching Breaking Bad for the first time.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, watch it again. Wash the bad taste of the Game of Thrones finale out of your mouth.
Yes.
and watch a show that knows how to end.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
Breaking Bad, in retrospect, I would say is one of the finest things ever put to television.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
I don't think we knew how good we had it then.
Yeah.
No, we probably didn't.
I don't think it's debatable. It is like in the top 5 greatest TV dramas ever produced.
For sure. And you wouldn't know it to watch it, how much they were really flying by the seat of their pants throughout the whole production process. You wouldn't know it to watch it because everything comes together so neatly.
Yes.
That's the mark of a talented writing team.
One of the best examples of that is the fact that the Jesse Pinkman wasn't meant to be on that show that long. I feel like we've said this like 300 times on the show.
but it's all right. It's,
Yeah, he was meant to die at the end of
Right.
season 1.
But the point of that being that
Aaron
he
Paul.
didn't. Aaron Paul stayed on the show, and it felt like they meant for that to happen.
Right.
And that's the real point. Is they very cleverly and carefully rolled with what they had.
Yeah.
To the point that nothing felt forced.
Right.
Nothing really felt for it. Everything felt like a very natural interactions between all of the characters. Very maybe not
Nice.
did I get it?
I think you did.
Yes, I got it.
Yay!
There it is.
Well done.
Kill the goddamn gnat, you piece of you fucking piece of shit.
Jesse, this gnat will ruin our batch.
This fly is a problem.
That was such a good episode. Such a good episode.
So, but yeah, the plot developments, some of them might not have been, especially in retrospect, as surprising as people might want, but the plot progressed in a very natural way.
Yeah.
And this is what I said too about the Game of Thrones finale is like the advantage that Breaking Bad had was that it took you by surprise naturally. It didn't force those surprises. The series ended in the way that a lot of people thought it was going to.
Sure.
And it didn't try to kind of throw us for a loop with that. And the
No, but
ending
we got thrown for a loop a lot of steps along the way,
we did.
which is more than enough.
yeah.
There is some fucked up stuff that happens in that show.
But yeah,
yes.
if you have never watched, there's a lot of fucked up stuff. If you have never watched Breaking Bad, absolutely watch it. If you've already watched it, watch it again.
Can I tell you why?
God
I think
damn it.
People, sorry. Can I tell you why I think people haven't watched it that might watch it? The name doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
It doesn't sound like anything. It's the reason I didn't start watching
Sure.
it until like the 4th season.
The thing is, Breaking Bad is like a southern slang term for raising hell.
Right.
That's what Breaking Bad means.
Well, the idea of like you can break this way or break that way, you can break good or break bad.
Right.
That's the idea. Is the idea that you're on the track to be good.
Yeah.
and then you're not. Like that's I feel like it might be worth mentioning that's what that means.
Right.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason that I would have watched it sooner, but I just was like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't particularly care.
I felt like I had an inkling of what the show is about. Like I feel like I heard like, oh, it's about a teacher who goes into meth, meth dealing, not meth doing.
Yeah.
Right.
But
That'd be a less interesting show.
yeah,
It's just a teacher who does a bunch of meth and then he's just
lies
on meth.
lies on a mattress on the floor and wastes away for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. If you've never seen it before, you should fucking see it. If you have seen it before, fucking see it again.
Yeah. It always bears a repeat.
Oh yeah.
Again, this is my friend on Discord. This is his first time seeing it. He's never had anything spoiled for
man.
him. So every single moment has been a fresh experience for him. He messaged me a few nights ago about the bathtub scene, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." Now
he's early in too.
well, no. Now he's up to like
Well, the bathtub is season 1, so
right. No, now he's like he's up to the lab that gets provided to Walt by Gus.
that lab.
Yeah,
That's like season 3.
yeah. He's motoring through this
Dude's
fucking
moving.
series.
Dude's moving.
I think consistently my favorite parts of that show are the parts
This-
that happen.
is not meth.
The parts of that show that are my favorite are the parts that come shortly after something shocking.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like the train episode. I don't want to ruin anything.
The ending of the train
So
episode.
the training episode, but like moreover, the start of the next episode. Do you remember how the next episode starts?
I do.
With a bunch of dirt in a pickup truck.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
That was like, and like it's so expertly done where you're just going,
Yeah, that's part of
Through the whole-
that's part of what makes the show so good is like you'll see these awful, horrible, like gigantic
Horrible.
things about living a really deep life of crime, and then you'll see like what is oddly mundane about that,
Yeah.
which is the cleanup and the moving on.
right.
Like just like something horrible just happened, and now we just
Now we
gotta-
have to
gotta-
deal
now we
with
just
it.
Gotta
and
like
Gotta scrub the floor.
gotta make the donuts. Right?
Exactly.
As
You just
how Vince Gilligan described it was, it's time to make the donuts.
to make donuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking like very dark and like the
Yeah, especially in the world of like awful, deep, murderous crime.
We've talked at length about it before. Actually, I think it's probably worth a topic one time for people who like, to watch Breaking Bad, like worth its own topic on the show.
Yeah.
But like the crescendo of that series is like the last 16 episodes.
Yeah.
Is just one of the finest things ever committed to television. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people really appreciate like people who haven't seen it. I'm not sure if they realize exactly how good that show is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really can't convey it.
That's why it's a recommendation.
Yeah.
Start watching it. If you're not immediately into it by the end of season 1, I'm sorry, but you're missing out on a great show if you decide to abandon it there.
Yeah, if
It
you
only gets better. It only gets better.
if you watch a whole season of that show and you don't care anymore, you could leave, but you're wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anyway,
what, if anything, have we learned?
I learned some things. You guys learned some things.
I learned Chinese teats.
China's
Chinese-
fat titty.
I just wrote everybody sucks the putrid fetid dick of the Chinese government.
Or the teat. Or the teat. Whichever one is
Putrid
available.
fetid teat
Of the Chinese dick.
of President China.
I wrote that Oscar worthy refers to Oscar the Grouch. Didn't
Yes.
realize. And things worth Oscar jerking off to, actually.
I learned that home ownership is a cock and a half.
Oh, it's so bad.
I learned that there is actually a sexy Big Bird costume, and not just one, but several.
Many.
Many
different ones.
sexy Big Birds.
I learned that I am exactly as terrified of everything as Jay Hawkins is.
I learned that the moon is just absolutely coated in male ejaculate.
Yeah.
I wrote that too. The list of people who haven't come on the moon is staggering.
Unforgivably long.
I wrote Bust Aldrin.
That's gotta be the title of this episode, right?
Bust Aldrin. Yeah,
Bust
it might
Aldrin?
be, yeah.
I wrote that 1/2 + 1/2 is 1. What? notes.
Nice. The last thing I wrote down here, this isn't even something I learned. I just wrote E.T. getting Eiffel Towered by 2 elderly directors.
Werner Herzog's off in the corner, beating his pud.
In his garbage can.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
Alongside Diogenes of Sinope and Oscar the Crow.
Ding, 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 ding. What are you guys doing? Ding, 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 ding,
Just
ding, ding, ding.
philosophizing.
Oh, God.
That's basically all I
I think
got.
that's everything, right? All right, we will be back next week.
We will.
When Dave will be hosting.
Or won't we?
Or won't we? Maybe.
Week is-
I don't
think
know.
Next week is D&D.
Next week is D&D.
If possible, yeah.
Yeah.
If possible. And then we're going to be getting mind-bendingly drunk, but we're going to be doing it in costume, so it's okay.
Well, that's this weekend.
Yeah, dude.
That is this weekend.
This weekend.
That is this coming
Not
weekend.
next. That's this.
Oh,
that's like 5 days from now.
Fuck me with a rake. Yeah.
Actually,
Jesus
4 days.
Christ.
It's actually 4 days.
Yeah, right. We're not that far away. No, but we'll be back sometime soon. Dave will have the topic, and that topic will be smoking and drinking on the 3D cast. The smoking and the smorping and gorping episode part 2. Coming your way. We're going to be smoking cigars and talking about beer for 4 hours. Nope. Here we are. Smoking and drinking, talking about beer.
All right. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening, as always, and goodbye.
Good night. Yeah.